Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bits, Skirts, and Halfwits and the Disaster Tour. I'm your tour guide, PT. Very first thing of the day, Sky, are you in Foundry?
No, I'm opening it right now.
Okay, fantastic. As soon as you get in that, go ahead and roll me 14d10.
Oh no!
Here's how this
Alright.
is going to work. Nugent's not going to take the damage immediately. I've decided when I get a Sky Wobble raid, and this is a consequence that I feel like Sky will be very okay with. Maybe not the
Okay.
rest of the party. But I'm going to have Sky roll the damage, and then I'm going to bank that damage to add to the roll of my choice somewhere down the line.
Oh no! You said 14 D10?
I did say
Terrifying.
14d10.
Terrifying.
62. Hey, that actually wouldn't kill me.
I didn't say I had to add it to your damage.
I don't think that would kill most of the group.
Not on the first swing, but maybe on the last one.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Anyways, welcome back to Bits, Skirts, and Halfwits. Last time, they went into a sewer, then they went into a cave, and now they're trying to get out of the cave, and they fought fishmen and normal men, and they met a gelatinous cube in a crate that they weren't allowed to let out. They were very sad about it.
I wanted a little gelatinous cube friend. I'm searching for meaning in my life right now.
Yeah,
So the manatee on your shoulder means absolutely nothing?
the
Manatee on my shoulder is a god. He can take care of himself, thank you.
yeah, the last thing
need
Nugent,
someone
the
to
last
take
thing
care
that
of.
needed Nugent to take care of it died.
I'm leaving. You know what?
My
This is the end.
And it doesn't even matter.
I had to fall to
You
lose
lose
it
it
all.
All right. Well, question of the day for our lovely characters. Episode or number 114 term.
Number 114. What does your character not like to share?
All
I think it's
right.
more like, what do they share anymore?
First, we have Lulin Boldspeaker, the Minotaur Druidin from Olfast, played by.
It's me, Frambo, and the answer is my wife.
I mean, I guess that's fair.
Fair. Understandable.
Then we have Elliot Burning Oak, the half-elf Blizzard from Zraya, played by.
It's Isaac, and today at work I watched one of my coworkers pull out a soggy bag of cereal and continue eating it, and when I asked why, they said, well, they didn't have enough time to finish it before they left, so they drank the milk and put the cereal in a bag and ate it 45 minutes later after the train ride. So obviously I did no work today and thought about that. Now, something that
So
Elliot does not like
valid.
to share, obviously,
I
is
just-
food.
Ew.
I mean, good on them for not being wasteful.
I hope it was almond
But
milk.
also, I think they
Also-
might be a serial killer and you might need to quit your job.
Ew.
Yeah.
Do you have a good relationship with that coworker or not?
Yes.
Yes, they're a good friend.
I've eaten.
Okay.
I've eaten.
You're probably safe.
I've eaten some nasty shit in my day. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've set a bowl of cereal down for like 10 minutes and come back to it. But 45 minutes in a train ride in between soggy cereal bites?
It's not cereal anymore.
It's slush.
I know, at that point, it's
Just
sort of like
mush.
an oatmeal vibe.
Yeah.
It's
you know?
oatmeal
Well, so, gonna shout out this brand.
This was the worst thing I've learned today.
There's a brand called Mush that is like overnight oats, but in a little like
Overnight oats are different, though.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're not
like,
cereal.
They're meant
Alright,
to be
moving on.
consumed
Moving on.
later.
Then we have Nugent Worldwalker, the Minotaur Sorbarian from Olfast, played by.
It's me, the Sky Tea. Newson doesn't like to share her visions.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth?
And last but not least, we have Karakarim, the Furball Warlock from Elenia, played by.
Hello, it's Terminian Link VT and samesies, Newson. Samesies.
Same Z's.
Cowards, the lot of them. Listen. BCH functions a lot like a sitcom TV show. A lot of the problems could be solved if the players talk to each other. But it would also
Remember,
cause more problems.
Yeah.
Remember, half of our problems are self-imposed, and the other half were probably caused by other party members.
Self-inflicted agony always. That's D&D, baby.
Yeah.
Self-inflicted agony.
Alright, Karak, I have equipped your new armor.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Let me just make sure.
Let me make sure I can see it. I do have the armor class for it, and it says the armor when I go. Now I have an armor class of 1. That's concerning.
There you go.
Oh!
That's more like it. That's more what I was aiming for.
It's like, what happened?
Now,
I love an armor
it
class
is
of 1.
not currently equipped because you haven't attuned to it yet, but
Yeah.
you
But for
all...
intents and purposes.
Yes, for all intents and purposes. Am I bleeding?
What?
I don't know. I just, like, brushed my chin and there was blood on my thumb.
Huh.
Well, PT's dying.
Oh, finally.
No, you're not allowed to die. I forbade it.
Can we at least finish BCH first?
That's how I fully intend to keep my immortality, Brando. You think this game's ever ending?
Can we at least finish season 1 of BCH?
We ended season 1 a while ago.
I mean,
Campaign 1, I think.
campaign
Is
1. Yeah.
PT is a lich that found out how to find immortality by draining the sorrow out of players that ask for it.
Yeah, by telling stories and forcing them to suffer. Why do I have I might actually be dying. Give me 1 second.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, I look down at my arms and now my arms are covered in hives.
Uh-oh. Well, chat, how are you guys doing today?
Yeah. You guys had a good day? Have you guys eaten? Got any snacks?
PT might be dying. I'm eating
I'm
a
probably
quesadilla.
fine. I've been through worse.
Yeah, we can confirm that. The
Yeah.
US military has records on it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyways, if this is what kills me, I hope I'm patient 0 and I'll see you all in hell.
No.
It'll be a party.
If you become the original zombie, we're all screwed.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I was
Isaac,
gonna say, I think it's just a literal physical reaction to the soggy cereal, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, like a stress reaction to the
We're all
thought of...
developing hives.
Go to the Purple Fire Kitty says go to the hospital, but let's continue playing BCH.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Stay on VC.
Yeah,
Let me tell you a list of things that I will not be doing. Going to the hospital is one of them.
Understandable.
This is not a healthy outlook, but I need to be on death's fucking door before I will go to a hospital's urgent care.
Oh no, I 100% agree.
I will
I'm
make an
in-
appointment at the VA and survive till morning, one way or the other. What happened to you? I took 19 Benadryl to get here alive.
yeah, basically.
And I
I just
Ubered.
think that, like, when I hear a friend is like, "Oh, I had a pain nose. I thought it might be my appendix." I'm like, "Well, you could check tomorrow, I guess."
A call out post. That was a call out post.
I had a friend
There's
who...
no call out post unless you say it is.
I had a friend who had a pain in her side, and it was her appendix. And she told me that she had never been more happy to be a nurse working at the hospital.
Oh. Well,
Yeah, that's fair.
Because apparently you get medical care if you work there. I didn't know that. That
Fucking better.
I mean, that makes sense considering the amount of things I've heard from nurses where it's like, yeah, some guy on crack came in and he tried to stab me with a pencil. Like,
Yeah.
they better get medical care.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get right into it as you are led out of the sewers by ink-drawn fishman.
I'm sure this won't have repercussions that are unforeseen to us, right?
What are you talking about? There's totally nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
As
It'll be
he
fine.
leads you through these kind of musty undersea caves, you I don't have the other exit on the map, so you're just gonna learn it through your ears holes. As you're led out of this cave system, eventually he brings you to a kind of lower point in the cave where it descends back into the water, but you can see on the other side of the water there is daylight. Like, kind of like bouncing off the rocks at the bottom of this pond. You're still in the cave. Is this kind of making sense? Like, it goes under and then back up?
Yeah.
You can get set. Hang on, I gotta get the bubbles in my voice again.
Croc's just gonna give a thumbs up because he can't understand them without the necklace, and I don't think he's willing to test out if like an ink creation has thoughts or not.
When you give it a thumbs up, you all watch this thing just turn into ink and splash onto the ground and disappear.
Oh my god, you killed him. He fulfilled his one purpose in life, and now he's dead.
Huh.
Mood.
I'm just gonna add that to the pile.
Tragic.
I'm sure
Anyways.
I can put that at the bottom, I'm sure.
Elliot. I'm a little concerned about that statement.
Nah. We're here.
So that leaves the four of you in this little cave.
So we have to swim.
Seems to be yes.
Mm-hmm.
You do still have your wings though, if you want to try and, I don't know, use them underwater for thrust or something.
Yeah. I guess that's what I'm gonna have to try and do, really.
It doesn't look particularly deep. But you have no idea how big the rocky precipice is, because none of these fishmen were particularly large. So you have no idea really how big the hole at the bottom of this is either.
I love cave diving. Nobody ever dies from that.
Mm-hmm.
Spellbound PT flashbacks.
All right. Croc just kind of like, claps his hands together and like rubs them together. It's like, I guess since I'm the one who communicated with them, I'll take the lead.
I suppose. Do we want to talk about the fact that we're only here because a bunch of people with markings from that church that suspicious guy was just representing came to try and attack us the moment we left that meeting?
Definitely seems more of a coincidence. Definitely seems like it's not a coincidence. That doesn't just happen.
PT, just out of curiosity, did they notice the symbols or was it just Elliot?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was just Elliot.
Oh, never
Okay.
mind.
I know they noticed the weapons and that they were magically enchanted because
Yeah.
News and used detect magic, but I don't think she ever noticed the symbols because that wasn't where the magic was radiating from.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to talk about the fact that a bunch of random people, the moment we left that meeting with magical weapons, all were waiting for us outside of it?
I mean, it was definitely targeted.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a bummer. None of them died though, so that's good. Proud of you guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
You have the memory of the guy whose skull was clearly showing.
I'm not entirely sure that's true. They definitely got up and kept fighting after falling
Oh,
a distance that would probably kill a person.
we tried not to kill them. How about that?
We minimized
Technically, we
casualties.
didn't kill them. They killed themselves by coming after us.
We minimized casualties.
But I'm still concerned about the fact that they were waiting for us after we went to that meeting and
Mhm.
then followed us even though it would have killed them and then didn't die.
Is there just is there
Yeah.
like a group that your team like hurt at some point before you all met me? Like is that
Oh, those
possible? Like
guys-
you forgot somebody or
Oh, Karak,
Yeah.
we've pissed off a lot of people.
yeah,
If you
I
promise not to,
gathered.
like, just go after them, I'll tell you. I do think it was the church. They all had
Oh.
the tree and on their clothes and all over. So
You know, they did give me a bad, a strange vibe when they were in the streets. You know,
yeah, the
I mean-
smiles. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. The plastered on zombie smiles were definitely alarming.
and their weapons packed a punch, just right in the brain box.
Oh, really?
Do you need any healing, Karuk?
Croc kind of does a once over on himself because I totally know the exact amount of health points I have. I should be good for now. I only got hit like once, thankfully, so. Still surprised a couple of them jumped in after me and just fell off. That.
No.
Like it's not very smart to put your all on the line for.
Mm-mm.
Must have felt important to them.
I don't think it
Well,
felt
I
at
think
all
they
to
were-
them.
Definitely under mind control, so
Oh,
Here's the thing, though. Like, usually when people are mind controlled, it can't be to their own detriment, right? I feel like usually
yeah.
if you you can't ask somebody to like kill themselves when in most mind control situations. So the fact that they were that's what's really alarming to me is the fact that they were willing to throw themselves to their deaths to come after us. That's
Definitely
Um,
seems strange.
yeah.
No enchantment magic I know of is that strong.
It seems really and it scares me a little if there's a level of like I mean there's no way that there wasn't some kind of magical interference there, but
well.
I didn't sense anything. That's what's
Try to
weird.
take people's actions away from them.
You
Yeah.
Newsom,
Yeah.
when you say you didn't sense anything, do you want to try and roll a history check to look back and reassess the scene?
Sure. I'm
Using your power.
Oh, look back literally.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a history check.
I'm not historically gifted. Yep. I am not historically gifted.
All right. Well, we gave it a try.
We gave it a try. Jason's like kind of tapping her foot on the stone floor and like kind of thinking back. But like, I mean, I did literally use detect magic, and I didn't see anything magical going on except for the weapons. So
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean something couldn't have happened beforehand.
yes.
All right. Well, how many rerolls do we have?
Well, I mean,
Six.
if somebody
We
was
have six
Hold
rerolls.
on. If somebody was under a spell, like if someone was actively enchanted, I would think that would show up on detect magic.
It would.
Like if you were being controlled by a spell, yes? Okay.
If you were being controlled, it absolutely would.
Okay, because that is what I was looking for the first time when I did that. Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Yep. Nope, you haven't missed... Nothing has changed about what you recognized about
Okay.
the situation.
All right.
Alright. Well, you're all sitting in front of this, small outcropping. Small...
So, who's going first?
I mean,
Well,
I
know how
got.
to swim, so
Wait, you don't?
no, I do.
I was very concerned. I mean, I know you lived in the desert for most of your life, but swimming seems like something that you don't go traveling around the world and don't pick up at some point.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we even used to do the cliff jumping on the western forts.
Maybe you can show him a trick your brother used to play on you.
He's good.
I mean, technically, a lot of minotaurs don't really know how to swim. Like, one, we're all muscle, which kind of sinks most of the time. Some people
True, you
can
don't got
float.
those toes to be thin.
Yeah, exactly. Our legs and feet aren't exactly designed for
Mm-hmm.
swimming.
I wonder if you could use Nimblet, if you could get them to help you, sort of like have them propel you while you hold on.
That's a good question. Did Nimblet go back to being a pauldron? We never really addressed that.
They did.
Okay.
As soon as your little meeting was over.
He was just like, I'm fucking done with this.
Y'all
Yeah.
figured out how to communicate with them. Good.
The eyes are closed and there seems to be like a tiny grooved bubble near the nose growing larger and smaller.
I don't think he's gonna answer me again so soon.
They must be tired.
Yeah.
They're a sleepy little animal.
Lazy
is it-
nimblet.
What he is it a he or a she?
It's a
They
nimblet.
Is it
didn't
a
really
they?
give me like pronouns. I call him he, and he hasn't corrected me, so
Okay, so until proven otherwise, he.
yeah.
Got it.
I don't
Okay.
know if that's like gender is like a big contributing factor for him. You know?
Mhm.
He's a nimblet.
Yeah, he is Nimblet.
Mhm.
Well, someone get in there.
Yeah,
Alright.
go on.
Lulin's just gonna go on in.
Oh, okay. Croc's just gonna follow behind.
Actually, Lulin's gonna take his time changing armors.
Okay, so what do the rest of them watch him do? They just see him go, I'll go first, and he starts stripping.
Yeah.
Newson immediately gets in the water and goes first.
Croc also jumps in, and
We're both like, no, thank you. Bye bye.
I'm good.
And then Lulin comes back a few minutes later, wearing the fish suit.
To see only Elliot waiting for you at the edge of the water.
Elliot has definitely like folded his poofy jacket, so it's just his like red dress shirt.
Stuck it in the bag of holding.
Yup. Would not believe how much water that jacket absorbs.
Newson, as you and Karak plunge into this water, you see it only goes about 10 feet down before there's kind of a rocky outcropping. And you kind of figure if you could hold your breath long enough, you could probably just walk along the bottom.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you miss the if at the beginning of that? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out as we go.
I'm confident.
Karak, are
don't.
you swimming or walking on the bottom?
I see. A part of me was going to say swimming, but I find it hilarious. Karak just popping his investigator stone, sinking to the bottom, and then like walking the rest of the way.
Awesome. In that case, as you both head into this kind of lit up tunnel, it's a little bit of a squeeze for you, Newson, but it's manageable. Both you roll me con saves.
There we go.
$22 and 19.
All right, not bad. So you both get under kind of this stone shelf that's above you, and you see probably about 30 feet above you what seems to be a wide open kind of bowl of water that you're in as the sun's well, I guess how long have you been down here? Hang on, let me roll a dice.
I feel like it was not that much time because we encountered people, walked through cave,
Well,
immediately came upon fish people.
Well, we
Like,
had to
3
boat through the
hours.
cave.
I rolled it. It was 11 hours.
Jesus. Okay.
I rolled a d12. It came out to 11.
Oh my!
How did you like those 10 hours on the boat, Newson?
Well, like 5 hours
Also,
on the
she still
boat
has her wings.
and 5 hours. Oh yeah.
I would not have my wings.
You would not
if we
have
were
your
down here
wings,
11
no.
hours.
But above you, you see this kind of bowl, and you can see like the sandy sides of it. Almost looks like a sinkhole on the sides. Like there's stone with a bunch of sand piled at the bottom, as you two can make your way over to the edge if you want to. What are you saying?
He's rambling and walking away.
As you
There
can
he goes.
make your way to the walls and begin climbing if you want to.
Yep, that sounds like a plan.
Seems like a good
I
idea.
want outie.
All right, Newson, roll me athletics. Karak, because you can kick your legs. Karak, because you can kick your legs. I'm not going to be roll, but I will need another con save from both of you.
Can I
Got it.
catch up to one of them and give them guidance since I have a swim speed with this armor?
Yeah, Newson, as you're like getting ready to climb this, Lulin just swims up next to you and waves.
As Lulin swims away from Ellie, what the fuck? I waited for you.
Can you
And
breathe?
before Elliot gets in the water, he's doing the shape water.
Lulin, I don't remember. Can you breathe underwater in that armor?
This bulky suit, which fully encases your head and body, takes 1 minute to don and off. While worn, it enables you to breathe an airless environment and renders you immune to the harmful effects of any gas that surrounds you. This suit
Oh.
also grants you a swimming speed equal to your walking speed while underwater, or a flying speed equal to your walking speed in an environment with no gravity.
Spacesuit.
It is.
Yeah, it's a
literal
wetsuit and a
spacesuit.
spacesuit.
And it's
Yes.
got like freaking RCS too. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both of you are still holding your breath. Karak, it's getting a little harder for you to hold your breath as you kind of make your way to the surface. Elliot, you see all of them going up this wall as you swim into the opening to this, like, pond or something similar. You're not quite sure.
All right. Elliot's for sure taken the change in depth pretty slowly, as he has rough experience with this in the past.
Yeah, doesn't want to get the bends again.
It was only
Yeah.
10 feet deep.
That sucked. It was only 10 feet?
No,
You
the
could-
Yeah, that's-
the surface is 30 feet above you.
Well,
The
it's
tunnel,
like,
the
It only
tunnel
went
was
down 10 feet, though.
yeah, but
You
you
definitely
were
said
but
it
you
was
were
only 10
already underground.
Okay.
The surface of the lake was 30 feet above you, and I do remember saying that when you came out from under the little shelf.
Okay.
But it's
Yes, guy. Didn't you hear? It's just a grease trap. It's just like a sink.
I'm so sorry. It is just like a grease trap.
I'm getting
Sorry, for
real.
everyone who's just annoyed I keep saying that. It's from the Disney Atlantis.
I'm getting real tempted to whip out my free damage. But you all
Disney
managed.
Atlantis.
You all managed to make it to the surface as you kind of pull yourselves out, and it seems like as you pull yourself out, an elf who is fishing on the edge of this pond kind of like picks up his rod and backs up and like trips over himself.
As Elliot comes out. You don't want these fish. Too big.
What did you
Cave system. Down.
cave system?
Big cave. Long cave. Lots of water.
How, when?
Just now.
Who are you people?
Susan like pulls
one-
herself out
one-
of the water and starts squeezing out the water out of her hair.
Karak
Oh,
as
my
well
apologies.
as
Lord
Karak is
Burning
just
Oak,
like
as Elliot sort of extends his hand.
one
Who?
sec.
Lord
Karak.
Burning Oak.
One question at a time. Who Karak? When 11-ish hours ago, how swam, and who are you? I answered that the first time.
Oh. Okay, so you say you're a lord.
Well, only by name.
Okay.
And estate.
Okay, yeah, in the estate.
And you're... Okay, you're Karak. You two are scary. What are you, even?
What are you?
I'm a
Minotaurs?
half-elf.
Yeah, we're
I'm a Firbolg. Water.
This is the water tunnel that goes all the way to
Karak's just sitting
A
here
sewer.
like
across the
apparently.
meteor showers.
Karak's
Shallows.
just Karak's wondering why they didn't put the armor on that they just got.
Mm.
They're like, that would have made this so much easier.
So... Wait, okay, so you're... Minotaurs.
Yes.
And you're a Firebolg?
Close enough.
That's way cooler. You should be a firebolt.
See, that is a really cool name, but also I have vague memories of like Firbolgs under Caliban calling themselves that, and it was the worst thing. They would
Oh. Okay. Are any of you hungry?
Yes.
Where are we?
You're in the Red Desert.
I repeat, where are we?
Like
smaller scale.
smaller scale, you're about 20 miles southwest of the city.
Okay, that helps.
Do they still try to kill anyone who just like goes in through the front door?
I don't know, I haven't been there in 2 centuries.
Oh,
Oh, a lot.
that's probably for the best.
Yeah, why?
From what I've been told, a lot has changed. Oh,
I'm sure it has. There's all new groups of people. It's kind of like
Wow.
turns and looks at the two of you again. So are the
We're not-
horns headdresses or?
no, they're natural.
No.
They're-
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
Surely you've heard of Volfast. It's been around as long as we have.
Uh-huh.
They're from Belfast.
we're minotaurs. You know,
The-
there was
you
like
just
a
swam right
war.
The city of gold?
Oldfast? No?
They don't have any gold. I checked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mostly, I mean,
like
we're good
the-
at making weapons, I guess.
like the
I'm
lost
true.
city in the woods?
now I'm really lost.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's. Was it lost? I don't think it was
Maybe to
lost.
elves, I
it's in the
guess.
Woods.
It wasn't
Anyways,
lost the last
got
time
some
we were
spare
there a
fish,
couple
I'd
weeks
pay for
ago.
it.
Maybe I need to go into one of the cities again.
You don't. You don't want to do that. It sucks.
Oh? What's...
Yeah.
As he kind of
Well, we
like...
just had some like religious zealots try to kill us. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I know exactly what that's like.
oh really?
Do you?
What was it? Please do tell.
Well, let me get some fish on the fire. I mean, I'm sure you all probably want to dry off.
A fire
Mhm.
would
Oh,
be
I'm dry.
nice. Okay, well, I'm not. And I haven't shed my winter fur, so I'm retaining extra water right now.
Oh, well,
Susan says, like, running her hands down her arms to like squeegee off water.
He kind of like he leads you over to like a small shady area under some trees where you see a hammock set up between two of them with a small pack underneath it. As he pulls a single pan off the pack, as he turns around and waves his hand, and you watch the sand almost seem to become kind of glass as it turns into a fire, as it seems to turn into like a loose bowl for a fire pit. No? Okay. Well, not a lot to burn, so may not be a fire in your typical sense, but oh, where were they? I've been heating up some stones all day. As he like walks into the sun and like holds a hand up and looks up and he goes, "All right, so I buried them. I think they're over here." As he just starts like digging through the sand, kind of leaving you guys alone as he starts like wandering around the oasis looking for these rocks.
So this is weird, right?
I mean, if I can be honest with you, Newson, this is how every day the past week has been for me. Like
It's just desert people, they're pretty chill.
I hate to tell you this, but I've been lost since day one. I'm playing catch up every day.
I guess that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have any questions while we're here?
Yeah. Anything from the pile you need to address?
I mean, let me think about it. I really need to go ahead and have Karok's journal pulled up. No, actually, weirdly enough, a lot of the questions have started to become a bit clearer, or they're questions that I realize I don't need the answer to because, you know, it's like the most recent one was just the ink fish thing and the fact that it died the moment that it was done, and now I'm concerned because, I mean, that I feel like I have a really high amount. I feel like I feel for things even if I'm not certain if they're there or not. Maybe it's just my time as a statue.
That's
Inanimate,
true.
you know. I don't know.
You were something that most people would just kind of walk by, so.
Mm-hmm. But
And
yeah,
you two would have loved the ethics of the unseen servant. A lot theorized that it's a real full spirit that's summoned.
Hmm.
And then dispelled the moment it's completed its duty.
Please.
Yeah, well.
Well, I mean, again, besides that, you all have been thankfully helpful in explaining things the moment that they become an issue or a question or something. I do appreciate that. It has been it's only been over the past couple days, but it's nice to finally be able to catch up a bit and get a bearings of where everything is and what everything is and why everything is.
We're certainly doing our best. Or I am, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, look, you know.
I mean, Newson can only speak for themselves. They can't speak for you.
Yeah.
You're your own person.
As
And, you know, you do love to be a bit.
Boy, when was the last time I concealed information?
When I asked you about the conversation between you and your uncle that you had behind closed doors, that you explicitly asked me to ask about.
That was just me asking him to find my father.
Well, now you're willing to tell us, but you weren't before when I asked about it the first time. I'm just saying.
Well, that's because I didn't know if you'd be able to find him.
But he did?
Yep.
Oh.
He's the head of a secret society that tried to kill us once.
Ah.
I guess more accurately tried. It doesn't matter.
As-
Musen starts thinking about secret societies that have tried to kill us.
As you're thinking about that, this guy comes back holding like a leather bag full of what appear to be steaming stones. As he like dumps them out into this pit. So sorry, I didn't catch any fish today. Give me just 1 second, all of you.
All right, I might be able to pull some out of here as he
Oh
pulls out his
no
bag of
no!
holding.
Save your. You're in the desert. Save your rations. You've come to my grove. I'm more than happy to assist you. As he waves a hand, and those of you who know it watch him cast Create Food and Water. As what appear to be like fish steaks appear on the coals and begin sizzling, as he kind of siphons the water into bowls and passes them around to you. So, what brings you here?
Running for our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got lost in the sewers, swept out into the caves, and then we swam out of the cave.
And then a bunch of fish people tried to kill us.
Yeah, but we made friends with them.
Sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Like a tentative truce.
Communication was difficult, but not impossible.
Ah, I understand. I see you, found yourselves meeting the Quatoa.
Oh, is that who they are?
Ah.
Yes, they're an interesting society, to say the least. If they believe in something enough, they can almost not quite make it a reality.
Oh, really?
Yes, they've manifested more than one minor godlike being that way, but they rarely agree on anything for long enough for the gods they create to fully manifest.
Well,
That's wild.
Yes, well, do
Guess they
have something to drink, something to eat, as he kind of like takes his own bowl and like puts it to his lips and drinks.
Of course. As Karak goes ahead and does as the Romans do, or I guess in this case does as the Elvish do.
Now, you said you came from Zraya. God, the city must have changed quite a bit.
Why would it have changed?
Well, I mean, the only time our caravan ever stopped there when I was a child, it was only elves.
they don't really like us there.
Yeah, but to be fair, 100 years ago, they wouldn't have seen any humans either, so...
It's another.
200.
What's the? How did you describe it, Newson? With the Kotoa, it's another tentative truce.
Yeah.
Very heavy on that first word.
Ah, so all of you are peacemakers then, or just normal adventurers?
I would describe myself as a normal adventurer.
So normal.
Hey, what's weird about me? Don't.
Karak about to open their mouth, and it's like, wait, got it.
Yeah,
But,
we're all so normal in this group.
What exciting winds must be blowing towards Zraya. You're my second group of adventurers in as many days.
Oh,
Who was
Second?
your first?
A group of refugees from the south came through yesterday.
oh.
Heading for the city, or were they out of, Rapud?
That sounds right. They said something about a college.
Yes, that is Rapud.
Well, that's our friends then.
Maybe.
Well, hopefully.
There are probably a lot of refugees out of Rapud.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of their names?
No, I didn't really ask any of their names. They seemed to need food and water, so I focused on that. One of them had a set of plate armor, which seems like a preposterous thing to wear out in these. And then, I mean, very strange folk. That one of them seemed to be carrying all of his supplies on this strange sort of machine. I didn't.
Maybe a crab?
I suppose in a certain light it would look like a crab.
Interesting. And just a day ago, so they probably reached their area then.
Yes, they left this morning. So if they haven't reached it, likely on the way. I mean, it is relatively early in the morning, so they're probably only a few hours ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Kind of an odd way to get to Zarea from Apud, right?
well, I mean, apart from the teleport circles, there's not many other options.
I guess that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, once you get out of the mountains, there's really nothing but desert. There's nothing particularly stable enough to build any sort of road on.
Yeah.
But you all said you were fleeing religious persecution?
Well, attack. I think technically I just said we were running for our lives.
I said we were fleeing from the religious people,
Oh.
but that's mostly just because they had been brainwashed by their leader, I believe.
Seems likely.
And so they mindlessly attacked us. And I think that they're probably returning to their lives now.
Or dead.
Okay.
Let's hope
But
for
we
the
tried
first
not to
one.
kill
I
them.
would.
Let's hope for the first.
Some of them
Well, we
passed,
didn't kill
of
them.
their
They
own
killed
actions.
themselves.
But they're mostly alive. I feel like of the 20 that attacked, only maybe 2 died, so...
Yeah, and it was the ones that fell on their heads in the sewer, so...
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
Why?
Just is. You don't hear of psychopathic religious fanatics every day out here in the wilderness.
I mean, you're kind of like on the way to the tree, right?
No, it's the opposite way.
Oh, I cannot keep track of where
The
we
tree
are.
is north. We're just south of Zoreda, right?
It's all red to me, okay? There's no landmarks out here. It's just sand.
There are landmarks to those who know how to look for them.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
But-
prefer
Granted-
trees and rivers.
Granted, Newsom,
Oh.
we're in an area that we have no idea.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, to me, it looks like a big red empty wasteland. Except for obviously like the oasis, but out there.
It can be unforgiving to those unfamiliar with it, but I assure you there's plenty of life throughout. You just have to look for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what made you want to make this your? You said Grove.
I did.
What made you leave? That's my question.
I could
Oh.
understand leaving,
Well,
honestly.
I thought all elves loved bureaucracy.
no. Not nearly
mean-
all of us do. There's a fair number. I mean, not that many exist anymore, but my parents were a part of a nomadic tribe that roamed the deserts. We traded and all that, but when I was young, probably he kind of gestures towards Elliot, probably no older than he is now. Well, we had a bad summer. Many of our caravan died. The youngest of us were taken into Zoit and given an education. I wasn't as big of a fan of their version of things as many of the others, so when I was old enough, I left. Followed the religion of the old ancestors. Found my way back, found my path in the desert, and it led me here. Since then, I've taken I had a mentor here long ago, but he's since passed. But I take care of the Mirajin's Grove the best I can. Help those who manage to find their way here one way or the other, although very few do.
I mean, seems like you're doing a good job. It's nice to have someone to see us on the other side of this cave system.
Yeah.
If you help even one person, then surely it means that things worked out.
Well, I mean, we all have to believe that the world sends everyone somewhere for a purpose.
Hmm. Croc just thinks about that statement for a bit.
Sometimes I wish the world would stop sending us places.
Yes, well, the world stopped pushing things in the directions they needed to go. The sands wouldn't shift, the rivers wouldn't flow. The world would stagnate, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love some stagnation.
I agree.
Well, if you need it,
things have
you're
been
welcome to
moving
stay
in
here
the,
as long as you need.
Mm.
You'll have
Wish.
food, water.
We don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Bound by the path fate has set for you?
Unfortunately.
Huh.
Seems like many who come through are.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the tree like in Zoit?
Oh, the tree itself is beautiful.
Yeah.
Not quite alive, per se. I
What do
mean,
you mean?
well,
Not alive like I mean,
I have something perfect for this. As he kind of reaches into a bag and pulls out what seems to be a hunk of wood as he tosses it to you, Newson, because you were the one who asked.
yeah.
When you catch it,
I asked.
Mm-hmm.
you
No,
realize
I asked about the tree.
It's fine. Go on.
God.
when you catch it, Newson, it's
Uh-huh.
very apparent that although it looks like wood and tree bark, it is entirely made of stone.
Oh.
Petrified. At least
Huh.
several of the outer layers. I don't know anyone who's tried to get to the center of it, but
Interesting. Newson passes it to the rest of the group for people to examine.
isn't it? And yet somehow the top of it still has leaves. Although you could equate them more to flakes sometimes. They seem like flakes of stone as they fall from the sky every year.
As it gets to Croc kind of is just like stone on the outside, living on the inside.
Maybe.
Never thought I'd relate to a tree. And hands it off to the next person.
Lillian will grab it from you and inspect it. And I want to try and just can I use Arcana to sense anything of it?
I'm gonna have you roll nature instead.
Okie dokie.
Everyone's like, oh no, not nature. Don't tell me your nature's worse than your arcana.
Both of them are intelligence, and I have +1.
Oh. Let's carry on.
This seems like a hunk of stone.
I'm gonna reroll that.
Alright, you have 5 rerolls left.
Oh, jeez.
There's no point in
No
preserving
more.
them. The other group just uses them, so... we
The other
use them
group's
too.
done.
True.
They are.
It was
was
only
like
4
a-
weeks.
Yeah, 4-week campaign.
I should know I was in it.
It ended sad.
Fuck it, I'll do it once more.
Oh my god.
What-
That's
2
2
more?
rerolls, right?
You would literally be using half. It doesn't matter. Do what you gotta do. You're
Alright.
using half the remaining rerolls, though.
We have 3 left.
Sticking with the 8.
Dude. Bro.
I know.
I vote for 62 damage to go to Lulen. For thinking too hard.
Fair enough.
So how'd you get a chunk of the tree anyway?
Oh,
I thought it was kind of a like aggressively guarded thing. From what I understood.
I mean, it grows aggressively, that's for sure.
Well, from
I
what
mean,
I
based on the one
understood.
we've seen.
No. From what I understood from talking to Leica, when we went to that meeting,
Oh, right.
they were pretty specific about who was allowed to even like get near the tree, let alone take a chunk of it.
I mean, a lot can happen in 200 years, or
I guess
rough,
so.
or I guess less than 200 years. But
Well, I
as
mean-
Croc gestures to the person, to our host, who kindly gave that information earlier, that they've been here about 200 years roughly, haven't been in the city at least.
so I can't.
Yeah,
To
but
be honest with you, the religious folk never really left until very recently. So
yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I mean, when I was there, it was still a religious upbringing, but they weren't opposed to people going their own way, leaving, having their own ideas. We were allowed to examine the tree as everybody saw fit. I mean, one of the largest temples in Zoit was built at the base of it and had an entire wall created from the tree so that you could go there and meditate.
Is there any way I could try and use this like chunk of tree to like
Elliot hasn't gotten to hold it yet.
Well, no, you can still look at it. You can. I'm
I was waiting
thinking.
for Lulin to be done.
Yeah,
I'm-
Lula would have handed it off.
I've already touched it. I don't think I need to be holding it. But is there any way I could like, after examining this chunk of wood, to like look into its history?
Brando. I see you felt bad.
Classic mistake. Having an emotional.
Having an emotional reaction.
Roll history.
Oh, okay.
Get wrecked. What were you expecting?
I don't know. Oh, wow. That was actually a really good roll for me. 19.
So, is there any event you're looking for in particular?
I think I'm just like I suppose it would probably like have to be around the time that this chunk was removed.
When it went from tree to chunk.
I don't know how far I can look around this time, but I'm kind of just curious to see like Zoit in general and get a feel for like this religion, pardon the pun, at its roots. Because we've only experienced like the missionaries essentially, and usually it's very different like at its core than the people who are trying to get people to join. So I'd just be curious to see what it's like, and you can think on that while Isaac does his look around of the his workover of the chunk.
First off,
Mhm.
good old Arcana inspection of this here
Mhm.
rock. Does it have any magic left?
Roll Arcana.
I would love to, boss man.
Oh
The
my
fa- the-
god.
It always hurts. It hurts seeing a 30 and seeing that it's not a crit, that it could
Yeah.
go further.
Yep.
That is a terrifying stat.
It is kind of spooky.
Mhm.
It does seem that there's like a hint of latent magic left in this rock, but it's even with how well you rolled, you barely notice it.
All right, he's not trying to use the magic. He just wants to use its connection. He's going to try to cast sending through trying to communicate to the tree, and he's going to ask, "What gods do you hide?"
Ooh.
Oh.
Wow.
Are you sure you want to do that?
All right, Elliot's gotten real good at talking to a lot of people at once. And also, I've never said no to that question because I feel like you're leading the witness.
Mm.
All right. As you cast sending and you say, "What gods do you hide?" you feel the message bounce through this to some far off place. As initially you don't get, because as you've experienced talking to the world trees, a lot of the time you don't really get direct messages, you get feelings back.
Yeah.
As you feel something large slumbering, kind of the hint of notice as your message hits it. As you feel something kind of slowly begin to awaken. Ooh.
I think I woke someone up from their nap, guys. I think the tree was asleep.
Who?
PT doing hidden rolls.
No, the tree has asked you twice
He just
now.
asked you who. It sounded like ooh the first time, like you were going
Yeah.
ooh in response to what was happening.
Ah. Yeah, you just hear that voice in your head, kind of this deep, ancient voice. Who?
Former locksmith.
A locksmith. Not worthy
Usually.
of my time. I'm going back to sleep.
Very well.
Sleep is peaceful. As you kind of feel this lumbering giant, like, drift, this consciousness drift away again.
Well, he doesn't like locksmiths.
I mean,
Well, that's probably a good assumption. Nobody likes the locksmiths, turns out.
Well, they did plant the trees. But no one likes their fathers. You have a good point.
It's true. We do all have daddy issues in some form. Well, I don't know if Karak has daddy issues. You got daddy issues, Karak?
does Karak remember their dad?
Roll history.
Oh,
Let's
good.
go. Roll history.
Roll a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Oh. Well, if I can be in the save section, that'd be great.
Plus a -1. Classic Karak.
Karak, you have a brief flash in your mind of somebody, like, of gold changing hands and somebody pushing you forward towards someone.
God. Name's got soul.
Karak doesn't respond to the question, just kind of sits with that new flash of memory to realize, oh shit, that's messed up.
I'm gonna take your silence as a yes. We all have daddy issues. I guess you don't become an adventurer if you have a good, solid family foundation, huh?
I've met a few in my day, but they're few and far between.
Yeah.
Nobody who's
Gotta have
happy
something to
chooses to go
prove.
fight monsters.
Yeah.
Nobody who fights monsters ends up being happy. It's a vicious cycle.
Whoa. Calm down there. Hold up.
Did you not just wish for stagnation?
Yeah, I guess. All right.
He's got you there.
I concede.
Newson, as you kind of focus back, you find yourself inside a large city spread around the world tree. Well, large in terms of like Ulfast.
Mm.
Nowhere near the size of Soraya.
Okay.
The buildings seem to be made from sandstone and sun-baked bricks, and their facades are adorned with carvings depicting scenes from ancient myths and scenes of the World Tree, and scenes of some gods, some that you recognize and some that you do not. Like, as you're kind of walking around this small area that the vision seems to allow you, looking at the glyphs, you almost see what looks like Nissa and Umbreon detailed in a different set of lines from other gods, one of which appears to be a giant turtle. As you're kind of wandering around, you see that the ground you're walking on seems to be one giant, relatively flat, petrified root. As you look and you see two kids, one of which looks like it could be a much younger version of this elf, kind of looking at a crack in between it before one of them pulls out a knife and like wedges it in and they break two pieces off.
Interesting.
Before you're kind of snapped back, and as the blue in your eyes kind of fades, you see this elf looking at you. Interesting. You're a farseer.
Yeah, sometimes. Not very well trained.
I didn't know that the power to look into the future and the past existed anymore.
If you know the right people, I guess.
Or if you know the right gods. You know, there are still, as much as people wouldn't have you believe it, there are still a fair few that wander these lands. Whether they're truly gods or whether they call themselves gods is a matter of certain debate, but one can only have such a rousing conversation with oneself enough times before they stop having it for fear of insanity.
Yeah.
Gonna put that in the back of Karak's mind.
I'd say you're in the company of people that would believe that there are more gods than we realize around.
Believing that there are powerful beings is one thing, but do you truly believe that they're gods?
Well, he serves one of them, so.
Karak kind of like looks over at Elliot and just kind of
Outed, I guess.
waves a tiny bit.
Oh, are we not?
It's all good. I mean, it eventually comes up at some point, so it seems to be, you know.
Yeah. No, we're familiar with a lot of the. They got locked away. One of the doors got unlocked. Then we opened another one. They're coming back, slowly but surely. For better or worse.
How interesting.
How do you feel about it?
About gods?
About better or worse?
Nature gives and nature takes away. It's the cycle. It will continue until the day that we all return to dust.
I'd be curious how you feel about gods, too, honestly.
I've met a few. There was a time where the goddess of the Emerald Hunt came to visit my master. But it's been a century and a half since we've seen her, and I've seen others who have come through claiming they were gods, but they seem to clam up quickly when asked to prove their divinity.
Interesting.
Yes, well, the amount of people who are heading for Zraya to prove their godhood seems to be much higher than the amount of gods Zraya recognizes. After all, if they were truly gods, would we be living in something better than, as you put it, a wasteland?
I guess that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on what the god stands for, I suppose.
That always seems to be the kicker.
But the only
You do wonder. Sorry.
god that truly matters is time. It will come for everything eventually.
Can I roll
Yeah.
insight on this guy real quick? This guy's starting to give off
I'll
some
join you in that.
They know a lot. They know a lot, and they're starting to give off that
Will
vibe.
we be inciting today? I would like to incite. Oh,
A
no
critical
insight for
19
Elliot.
from Karak.
Damn! Karak is very insightful today.
Critical 19.
Mhm.
Karak, what exactly are you trying to pick up on? So I can.
I'm like all this this is sounding a lot like Vox Immortalis, all things must die. Like, and Karak's like this is starting to sound a bit too similar to things he either like has heard from other people or knows, and he's like, I need to know like where this person stands and what they're implying with what they're saying.
It seems
Like, is this just sagely wisdom, or do they have an axe to grind?
It seems like the information they're giving you is genuinely just being given for you to think on yourself. Like, it's genuinely just being given to you freely without animosity, but also without friendship. It is just being given to you to take however you see it.
Got it.
Elliot, you pick up a little bit of that. Lulin and Nuzin, this water's pretty good.
Sippity sippity.
Karak's just gonna ping a message over to Elliot, just being like I like basically just giving the vibe that Karak just got, being like, this person is just giving information. It doesn't seem to be for any purpose. It's just for us to think on. Are you getting the same vibe?
Yeah,
Good to know.
he certainly is persistent at though.
Mm-hmm.
As you're having this conversation, he pulls out like a small set of what seem to be like glass plates and begins taking the cooked fish off the stones and setting it on the plates as he kind of just sets them out in front of you. You watch as he kind of waves his hand, and you watch a small magical hand appear and move the plates to the other side so that one sits in front of each of you. And then he reaches in and grabs his own.
Glass seems like a bit fragile to be serving food on.
But incredibly easy to make in the desert.
That
I
is
was
true.
just about to say that.
If it breaks, I'll simply return it to the sands where I received it, and I'll make another one.
Very intuitive.
Is it?
I'd say so.
It's very recyclable too. You can always
Yeah.
save the shards and remold it once you have enough glass.
Turn it into something else as well. I mean, I assume that as the sand blows, it would probably wear down any broken shards, and you're left with something that looks beautiful. It doesn't have the same use, it just changes.
I sense that the group of you has a hard time making friends, don't you?
Very much.
The,
I make a lot
These-
of friends.
These people are the only people I know. So
yes.
I've had
You-
a lot of friends before.
We
these
make a
people
lot of
came along.
friends. It's just a 50-50 chance on whether they'll betray us later.
Well, they either betray us or they get killed by the people that betray us. So
Yeah.
It's a hard road to walk alone.
Well, none of us are really alone.
That's the quality of people versus the quantity of people.
yeah. I mean, you can be in a group of hundreds and still feel alone.
Yes,
What matters is finding the right people.
I've had that experience.
When you're in a position like we are, sometimes it's for the better not to drag too many people along with you.
Keep some people at arm's length.
They end up being targets.
Mm-hmm.
By no fault of their own.
Mm-hmm. Circumstances.
And-
Anyway,
And
Fish.
whose fault is it then? Certainly not yours.
why wouldn't it be ours? If we were to bring them into the group or bring them into a world that is inherently dangerous for them and they get hurt, why would it not be our fault? We knew the risks. We brought them in.
But would it not be the fault of the things that make your world dangerous?
is it not the circumstances that shape something?
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
Hmm.
But at what point are you so focused on survival that you forget to live?
Sometimes, if you forget to focus on surviving, you'll never get a chance to live.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That last line you just gave, I might need to roll a history check because a part of me feels like Mog said that to Karak, and Mog is a Kenku, and so they had to have heard it from someone.
What an interesting theory. Real history. Can't remember.
Anyway, we've been talking about ourselves for a while. What about you? Any interesting stories that you might have? 200 years is a long time, and I'm sure you've met more than just the two parties in the past.
As I've said, I've met adventurers and gods and those who claim to be one or the other, or neither. But everyone who has come to this grove has come to this grove because they were stuck. Regardless of where this grove is sat. It's not always an oasis in the desert, although it does tend to be.
Definitely seems like the one place where people would need it most, at least physically.
Yes, but the physical location of things is not always the same as what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone who has come to this oasis has come here physically either.
Guess that's understandable.
Do you know whether you're here physically or not?
I am.
Are we?
You are.
Okay.
Okay, that's a relief. Whew.
I was just hoping I didn't
I would've-
drown.
I would have had to add that to the pile.
The pile?
I have a thing where I've been having to learn a lot of different things with this new world. Funnily enough, it's actually been I've been gone a far bit longer than you have, which is rather strange to say. And so my friends here have been catching me up to speed, and anytime I have a question that I don't think I can get the answer to immediately, I just put it in the back mind, and I call that the pile. And I've been doing that for a long time. Or at least it feels like I've been doing it a long time.
But if you keep putting questions unanswered behind you, eventually you'll turn and find a wall between you and your past.
Thankfully, I don't have many now. They've all helped me work through them, or at least a fair number of the questions that I can use. That is an interesting point. I might. Croc just kind of thinks about that for a second, because like, is that why?
So how
Why
have
things are
you...
different?
What is it that brought you all to the grove besides the fishmen? How do you find yourselves lost? Perhaps I can be of assistance. Perhaps I can't.
Croc is gonna wait for someone else to go first.
And when he says that, you notice that he's looking at you, Newson, because you've been giving him kind of looks the entire time he's been saying things.
We're stuck. I mean, we're stuck in many aspects. We have an evil god who wants to destroy the plane. We have a potential opportunity to kill them. We have the question of if that would be right. We have the opportunity to make the elves' world better at the cost of others. Is that right? We have what feels like an inevitable in order that could come at the cost of many lives, but may result in a more fair distribution of power.
Concerns of what must be done and what that might cost.
Seems you
Costs
have
that
quite a bit of
you've
worry
forgotten to
about
look at.
making the right decision.
Well, we've one too many times made the wrong one.
And that makes
Been
you...
deceived a lot.
And the farther into an adventure you get, the more damaging those wrong decisions can be, the more drastic their consequences. Rather not have any more.
And in the times you were deceived, was it because you did not know what was right, or because you took for granted what somebody else told you was?
It's true. Many of our decisions were founded on a trust that was invalid. But it is not us who suffers when we make these mistakes. It's others.
It is also not you who who truly decides whether your actions were right or wrong. That is for those who come after to judge.
Yes, but to defer the judgment is not to change the situation.
And to be
We
paralyzed
still
in
must do the
fear of
best that
that
we
judgment is to do nothing.
Yes. Well,
The wind does not stop blowing strictly because it does not know which way to do so. It blows and the change follows it.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving me that look again, Newsom.
I'm just curious. You kind of talked about this place a bit open-endedly, like it sort of exists, but it doesn't. It's never in the same place, and it only appears to people who need it. So,
I have nothing to hide. If you're curious, you're more than welcome to stay through the day and into the evening when the dreams come back to the grove.
hmm. Who was your old master?
Hmm. An elf, not far like me, named Silvio.
And he took care of this place before you.
Yes, founded it, actually.
Hmm. How do you... So, were you in need of this place and then found it and stayed?
I suppose I was. I was in need of a purpose. The grove has given me one.
That's what I struggle to find.
Purpose?
Well, there's really two different sides of the same coin of finding purpose. The purpose of us as a group in a family is to ultimately just save the world. I brought a family into this mess, and I my purpose is questionable.
He kind of looks at you and just raises an eyebrow.
Backing to the conversation that was had earlier, of whether or not bringing other people into our problem is our fault or ours. I believe 100% it is our fault. I have two children to which I have no idea where they are. I have bared life into a world that may end tomorrow. And that's tearing me apart.
Why?
So,
You've brought life into a world that may end tomorrow, but you've also brought life into a world that may not.
and as a father, I don't know where they are.
Do you believe that they are safe?
I'm praying so.
Hmm. And the rest
The
of you?
world is full of light and darkness. I hope that evil hasn't struck them yet. But I can only pray.
The world is made of much more light than it is darkness.
Depends on the day.
No? Even as the sun sets and the night falls, is there still not enough light left to see?
Yeah, but in my mind, it's constantly storming. I
And
can't
yet do
recall to you
storms
the
not
last time
create
it's.
and yet do storms not create light of their own to fill the void?
Croc just nods, but is thinking about dagger falls in that sense, and the fact that molten metal does in fact shed light.
No, I don't think mine does.
Perhaps it is not a matter of the world being without light but you.
Well, let's just get a nod to that and munch on the fish with a 1,000-yard stare. If you're wondering what the wisdom save was for,
Ears?
Yeah. Of whether or not we could hold it together, and the answer was no.
Mm.
Should you not wish to stay the night, see the dreams, I'm sure that your friends are not far ahead of you. If the path to the city is the one you wish to take, if there's another path, perhaps I can set you on the first steps.
I'd personally prefer to stay. But
And
Our
you-
friends, were they healthy? Will they make it to the city?
They were in good enough condition to make it there. The one leading them seems strong, if disturbed.
that does sound like a friend of ours.
Sounds like a few friends of ours.
Mm. Sounds like a way that people would describe us, honestly.
Well, something
what
birds of a feather.
Mm.
I mean, acting as a leader probably has a bit of derangement to it as well. Being responsible for so many people can't be good in the long term.
Well, you've already told me what feeling responsible for that many people has done to you all.
Mhm.
Feel like we barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
So then, when would you say you make the decision? If you can't wait to have all of the information, how much do you wait for?
There is no perfect time to make a decision. But if you make the decision today, you'll be one day closer to your goals tomorrow. If you make it not at all, you will have gone nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have made the wrong decision, but you made it today, by the time you know you've done wrong, there might be time yet to stop it. But if you wait until, well, from your stories until the world is cracking and falling apart, and then you make the wrong decision, with no time left to change it, well, that has consequences beyond itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
This fish is really fucking good.
You must have been particularly hungry. All I did was salt it.
To be fair, they're the one that usually cooks for us. It isn't often that they get someone making something for them. Oh.
It could be the hunger, but fresh salt, it's very good. Even if the fish is created magically. I know that if you would have caught one, it would have been even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well,
I thank you for your time in cooking. It was great.
did you happen to see any fish while you were down there? I'm not sure.
Besides
I'm not
fish
sure
pond?
for how many years I've been fishing in an empty pond or not.
We saw fish people. Did we see any fish?
Uh,
Yes, lots.
Oh no.
Oh no.
there were really no fish of any kind in this pond. There was no
mostly-
vegetation in this pond.
I mean, it was mostly rocks, and then obviously the the fish people that we passed, but didn't look like much of anything was living down there, honestly, in comparison to what's up here, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it passes the time regardless.
Mm-hmm.
If you do wish to stay the night, we have most of the day left.
Well, how can we prepare this place for the next visitors?
Good way to pass the time and all that. Make sure the people after us leave this place better than we found it. All that.
You can prepare it for the next visitors the same way the group before you did. Leave as better people than you came. I will leave you to sort through what that means to each of you, for I do not have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure you'll find them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there anything else I can get you? I'm going to go back to fishing.
No, I think we're quite alright.
As he kind of like picks up the small fishing rod that, as he walks away, you realize doesn't even have a hook on it. This motherfucker knew there were no fish in the pond. It just has a rock tied to the end.
Hey,
a lead
rock-eating
bobber.
fish probably exist.
As
He's
he
trying to catch
goes
all
back
rocks.
to the side of this small lake and just casts the rod out as he leans back and sits down on the sand. Leaving you all... There's like 3 or 4 fish steaks left on the stones. But it seems like he's kind of leaving you all to sort things out yourselves, and whenever you guys are done sorting things out, we can cut to nighttime. I just know that some of you probably have conversations you want to have, and some of you have items you probably want to attune to.
That is true.
Yeah. Croc will probably have the conversation that he plans on having and then attune to the items.
Well, then have it.
'Cause Croc kind of looks around and is just like, better people than we came here as. And he kind of just sets down his pack, which he hasn't done in a fair bit, so this is fun. And kind of just looks at you all and is just kind of like, I guess I'll start. I've already talked about this with Elliot before, but my memories they're coming back. Not as fast as I had hoped. I had hoped I would just go to sleep and then wake up and know everything, but it seems it's only bits and pieces. And I don't relate to a lot of them. I don't like a lot of them. I don't recognize the person that I am in them. And I worry. I know our lovely host earlier mentioned something along the lines of everyone being brought somewhere in this world for a purpose, and the more that I keep seeing and the more concerning things, the more worried I become. I know I worry that it doesn't make sense why out of everyone I would be the one to be here with all of you. I recognized that armor that we found, and a part of me is concerned that I shouldn't have it. But another part of me thinks that I should. And another part of me thinks that it doesn't matter, that it's been too long, that I'm not that person, and yet I know it's all confusing, and it hurts, and I don't exactly know what is and isn't. I think the way I described it to Elliot was, I was wondering if it's possible to be too good of a hunter, survive too long, be too adaptable, I guess. Everything's still kind of foggy, and I hope that soon I'll have the answers to all of that, but I just felt like you all deserve to know. I've tried to be very transparent with all of you, and it's it's strange to think that I can do I can open up as much as I have in just a week to many of you that I've only known for not even that long. I just, if this adventure is going to be successful, I think it's important you all know that that's what's been going through my mind recently. Woo! That was heavy. That was too heavy. I'm sorry. Uh, uh,
Well, I voiced my opinion. I think I've said what I needed to say, and I hope you've heard it.
it.
And you know, if you have troubles, we'll be standing behind you, having your back. You're not on the journey alone.
Strangely enough, I think that's the first time in a while that I can believe that. So does anybody else want to go, or do we want that to just be the? Because I went first, assuming someone else would go after. Is everything okay with all of you, or?
I don't know if I could possibly be further from okay, but there's not really anything to be done about it, so.
Little look at you. Yeah, I'll drink to that. Pops up his flask and takes a drink.
Uh,
It's the existential dread of
if you told me 1,000 years ago that this is where I would be, that I would have done all of this in the course of a week, I don't think I would have believed you. It's strange to think that all of this has happened and that you get thrust into a world like this. And the weirdest thing is I'm starting to think that I'm starting to feel like all of this is normal. When this is all over, I don't know how I'm going to react. Oh.
it'd be
You
almost
ever wonder what would
terrifying
happen if we just stepped away?
I was just gonna say I think it'd be terrifying if things went to normal.
PT, should I roll a wisdom check for that stepping away from that sort of feeling?
Nope.
Got it. Wanted to make sure. It's like that felt like one of those things where it's like I could see that doing something. I don't
It
think we
almost
really
feels
have.
as if evil follows us.
I agree. I feel like everybody I've ever put trust in has, or anybody who's ever tried to guide my path, I guess, that I've trusted has lied to me in some form or fashion.
Mhm.
Makes it hard to know if you're ever doing the right thing.
Mhm.
It makes it easy to believe that you're not.
Mhm.
I think Lula's reaction to that is he just brings his knees closer to him, kind of balls up.
Well, I do want to ask our Fisher friend about the other Farseers that he's apparently known, so.
Feel free. Croc kind of looks in his pack at the armor that he got, and he's like, I need to see if this fits. I have been needing a new set of armor. This one is ancient.
It does look like it'll suit you.
Part of me hopes that it doesn't.
Mm.
Oh, Croc kind of, finds a secluded area where he can doff his current armor and don the new armor and begin the process of attunement.
All right. News
And
and then
Newson's gonna,
go talk to the Fisher.
yeah, get up sort of heavy-heartedly, I think, in that sort of like slow way, dust yourself off and head back towards the pool that we came up out of.
As you're walking towards him, normally walking through sand is relatively difficult for Minotaurs,
Mm-hmm.
but it almost feels like the sand in this grove is firming up underfoot as you step on it. As if it's making it easier for you to travel here. As you make your way over, as you see your shadow kind of cross over him, as he just continues to fish. Did I forget something I could have given you?
No. I just had a question. I had some more questions.
Of course.
If you don't mind.
Come sit.
She'll kind of settle down next to him, who's kind of at the edge of the water. You recognize that I'm what you call the Farseer. And I mentioned that I've not really had any training. The only context I have for it, there are some people I know that had like magical ways of farseeing, but the only other context I really have is from the entity that gave me the powers and the opposition. So I'm curious about your experience with Farseers or people who had the powers.
You're
I've
curious.
not heard good things.
He kind of is contemplative for a moment. Not as if he's deciding how much to tell you, but more of what the right way to deliver it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Farseers. Other than that I thought the power would be gone. But I would have to say the most recent one I've met had to have been... Oh... I'm sorry, there's not a great way to tell time in this place. 25 summers ago, perhaps? A young man?
Using an eye?
Yes. Although... It was in it... Using it as a focus, more so than any. he talked quite a bit about the future. What would you like to
Pretty
know?
sh-
What would you like to know about him?
I mean, it's not even really just him. I guess I'm assuming if he was using an eye as a focus, technically, I'm pretty sure he's, we talked about people being hurt when they're around us.
Yes.
He kind of felt like one of those people, or felt. Gets a little difficult to talk about.
Well,
But
perhaps it will bring you solace to know that even 25 years ago he talked about the good his death would bring. He was. He had the most interesting questions. Asked me to see the dreams of several people who he said
yeah,
would be important. But I think the most impressive thing was what you said would come after his death. He said
what's that?
that the power over fate would return to the mortals who deserved it. That it would no longer be bound behind the gilded gates of those who hold themselves above the world. He's where I learned the term farseer.
Huh.
And he seemed sad. Said that it was a difficult choice, but that he would not be able to remember the future that he was fighting for. He said he had found a way to block it out, hide it from everyone, including himself and the gods.
Wow. That's certainly a feat.
Yes. If only he hadn't seemed so certain that the feat would cost him his death.
It seems that that's the way a lot of farseers go.
The life of one who delves into events that have not come to pass is not a pleasant one.
Yeah. Well, at one point, I was sort of plagued with visions of my friends attacking me and hating me. Now that I have these powers, I can't convince myself that they're not real anymore. But I don't have a choice but to keep moving forward, so.
He takes the end of the fishing rod, Newson,
Mhm.
and he holds it down to the edge of the water. And then he draws it in a line through the sand as you watch the water fill in the sand behind it.
Mhm.
The rapids on a river can be scary, but they can be seen from far up the river, can't they? Just because they're there, there's no way to avoid them. Doesn't mean that they're the most dangerous thing on the river. As he takes the fishing rod, and he branches it off, like he turns it around the sand and branches it off into different pieces. Because what's after those rapids is more important, is it not? You've seen visions of your friends hating you, but you've not seen visions of what comes after. Unless you have. But even then, what comes after the rapids may just be one path. You won't know until you've reached the end of the river and found the ocean. The dunes of the desert we're in now are much like fate itself. Even the slightest breeze can shift the crest of one or the other. But a tumultuous wind, a storm, even a storm inside someone, can change the path of fate itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to an extent. As much as any of this makes sense, I guess.
Anyways, perhaps if you're on a similar path to that man from all those years ago, the reason you can't see a future where they don't is because it's hidden even to you.
I'm just worried that I've made too many wrong choices and trusted too many bad people to correct my trajectory. You know, the scariest part of a river isn't the rocks that you see in the rapids, it's the ones that you can't see beneath the water. You can't correct for those.
No. But just because one hits a rock doesn't mean that they are any less capable of going down the river. Or that they have a choice in the matter.
It's less that I'm not capable of going down the river and more that I'm worried that my ship will sink and I'll drown before I make it to the ocean.
And maybe you will. But it's easier to bail water with more hands than one.
I hope so.
Just because those we have put our trust in have turned against us is no reason to stop trusting altogether. Perhaps we learn to be more careful. He kind of turns and looks back at everyone. Learn to guard ourselves more. And perhaps that leads to more wrong decisions down the line. Because choosing to trust no one and being afraid that you've made the wrong decision means you've chosen to not even trust yourself.
That, I can tell you, is the truth.
For all of you, or just you?
I can't speak for everybody else, but
Do you trust
for
your
me,
friends?
I did. And I'm trying to again, but
But trust is a lot like broken glass. Once it's been shattered, it can't be put back together the same way.
I suppose it takes a lot of heat to,
It does,
but it's never the same again.
and perhaps it doesn't need to be. Something can be beautiful even though it's broken. Look at this marvelous world I live in. that we all live in. By any account, the desert itself is enough to destroy you. A broken land, devoid of water, cracked by the sun. And yet, it has life. There's beauty within it. There's creatures that come out at night and live their lives, create the next generation. There's creatures that bide their time, plants that wait for the monsoons to come and fill the desert with water and life once again. Creatures that have found their purpose in that broken place. Because
I suppose so.
if something is broken, are we as the caretakers of our world not obligated to try and fix it?
We have been trying. I don't think anybody can say we haven't.
I believe that each of you has been trying to fix it. But if none of you truly trust the rest, you're not trying to fix it together.
Well, I appreciate your insight. I'm definitely interested to see what happens tonight.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing to see the dreams of the worlds around us. Perhaps you'll even see someone who can help you.
Well, that would be something.
You're just gonna kind of sit there with him while he fishes for nothing?
Yep.
Alright, Karak. You
Let's
kind
go.
of wander off into some of like the fern bushes that are around as you change into the new armor, and the second you clasp the final clasp, you feel your mind pulled backwards as you find yourself standing on a rocky beach covered in white sand, wearing your normal clothes. As on top of a rock in front of you, it looks exactly like you, but it's wearing the armor. Well, hi there.
Oh, okay. This is different. Feels different anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, I guess I was going to ask why you're wearing it, but you've already said that you are me and I am you and we are us, and yeah,
Yes, and I said it was a trophy, but I didn't say it was one that you've earned.
of course it isn't.
Unless you're willing to accept that we're the same.
That depends. Are you willing to accept that as well?
I've accepted that we're the same long before you did. I'm not the
Maybe not.
one running from my other half.
You may have accepted it, but not in the same way.
Elaborate.
Well, I think it took a bit of time, but starting to see that we are the same, whether I want to admit it or not, even if it scares me.
And why does it
Different
scare
how-
you to be strong?
Because being strong is what got us here. That's what caused us to lose everything. Or at least what I would deem losing everything. Even if we're the same, I can't say that our opinions are.
Lost everything? What have you truly lost, Karak? Besides your memories? What have you had taken from you?
I would like to assume there were people before us that we knew. Can't have been alone the entire time,
We weren't,
right?
but we didn't lose those people.
Maybe they lost us. Whatever the case.
Well, that is certainly the truth.
Whatever the case, if you are me and I am you, I think we're in agreement that I can't trust myself. But what I do trust are the people that found us. That when we were lost, when we were left behind, so to speak, found us.
Oh, just like you got found the first time? And you trusted the people who found you then? That you trusted that they had our best interest in mind. They were going to raise us, teach us, make us masters of the hunt. And then as soon as we asked the wrong question, they stuck us in a chair.
What was that question, if you might ask? If I might ask.
Are the
Memories are
gods
still-
always right?
Guess it depends on which god you ask now, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, I mean, a fair number of gods would like to say that they're right, while the others are wrong. They all have their own opinions, their own ideals, their own decisions on what's important to upkeep.
Yes. And there's only one place where all the gods agree. That they are above us.
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced something different?
I'm not quite sure yet. Definitely feels... It feels different. I mean, the fact that I am the way that I am, and you are the way that you are, and how we came to be, seems rather ironic if you think about it for long enough.
I don't see the irony.
We fought the god. We were fighting the gods themselves, and yet now we look so much more like them. Duality, as you've more or less seen. You being much more prone and skilled and masterful when it comes to the hunt and fighting and strength.
And you making decisions for others as if you're one of their gods. One of
Maybe
us
that's what you
has
see.
become like the gods.
Maybe one of us has failed to see that the other has as well. Just depends on how you look at it. Two sides of the same coin. Right?
And both have the same value.
I think it's important that we make sure that we don't end up like we did last time. We don't end up back in the stone too early. I think it's important that when it comes to
Do you... We went in the stone by choice. Just like we do every time.
Maybe I don't want that to be our ending this time.
It wasn't our ending last time.
I guess you're correct.
was just a brief pause until we had to do what needed to be done again.
Maybe we'd rather there not be a pause this time.
Hmm.
At least,
I think now that we've woken up, we're in it till it's done.
just depends on what we consider done.
And what is it that you consider done? Because I consider done people being able to live their lives without somebody else making the decision on whether they have value for them.
I think that's
I think
I think that fits within my own opinions.
I think you
I think fits well.
have a fundamental misunderstanding about the difference between us, Karak.
Oh, now there's a difference between us.
It's not in our goals or our ideals. It's in our methods.
And I'm one to say that both our methods have their uses.
They do. And when
So-
you're ready to do what needs to be done, simply call out for me. And together, we'll use the armor to its fullest potential.
Seems like a plan.
You should
I
remember,
must... Mhm.
as much as you've been treating me like one, I am not your enemy.
I guess that's fair.
I'm you.
Finding yourself an enemy rarely leads to good outcomes. If I might ask, at the end of the day, I want this to be a fruitful partnership, whether even though it is just between ourselves at the end of the day. I want to make sure that, how do I put this? I want to make sure that we don't do anything rash. I've been feeling your pull when we were talking to that one friend of the party's. I remember that feeling that we felt. I'd like to make sure
Your
that we save
feelings?
that our feelings.
I am you. Everything
Why-
I exist for.
Then why split hairs and put it all onto me?
I don't think you've
We'll
pieced it together yet. I'm not real, Karak. The only reason I exist to put it all on you is because you made me to do so.
Just seems easier to describe it as our. Especially if we're going to be seeing eye to eye.
Every dark pull you think I've sent you has come from you. And the sooner you accept the dark with the light, the sooner you'll be able to actually make a difference.
That's what I'm trying to do.
And the sooner you'll be able to actually use what you've fought for. Anyways, you should sit back as he kind of turns on the rock and looks out towards the ocean. Oh, and I'd take a deep breath. Waves coming.
Karak does that.
When
Sorry,
you
Karaks do that.
When you turn and look out at the ocean, you see a wave that is probably 100 meters high, rushing towards the beach as he looks at you from the armor where he's sitting on this rock and goes, "It'll protect you for now." But better luck next time. Like I said, when you need me, all you have to do is look inside yourself. As the wave hits and you snap out of it sputtering as you cough up seawater.
Okay. Grok kind of looks around a bit disoriented because that's a first for him.
What is the rest of the party doing? Newson's still sitting next to the guy on the beach. I'm presuming. It's been about 2 hours, Karak, to put that in perspective for everyone else. Karak has been disappeared for 2 hours. Newson, you're
I
muted
think
if you're talking.
I assume
Elliot
our
is
two
going-
things kind of happened at the same time, so
Yeah, yours took a lot less time, though.
that's fair.
Elliot, what are you doing?
What I was about to say. Elliot is going to sort of wander in the opposite direction of the beach for a moment until he's sort of just out of earshot of the camp.
Okay.
And as he starts to talk to Jeffries as he picks his head out of his jacket. You know, it's getting lonely out here, isn't it, Jeffries? I think maybe it's time we bring in another member of our little team, Elliot. As he pulls out that the spell book that he got from Nathaniel's cave.
Ooh, the Magellan spellbook.
That's the one. As he sort of sits down and in his notebook starts outlining a spell, sort of getting prepared to use it, which will take about a short rest.
Do you want to message me?
Well, I'll just tell you. Well, yeah, I'll message you.
Okay.
I'll message you. And we
It's
can
a
go on our way.
surprise.
It's
A
surprise.
surprise.
All right. Lulin, as everybody kind of goes off to do their own thing, what are you doing?
I think Lula just makes a little fire, puts some tea on, looks around as he sees Elliot walk.
What are you lighting the fire with? Do you have firewood? And if not, are you going to go after this guy's plants?
I don't think Lulin would go after his plants. I imagine Lulin would have some pork fat or tallow or something he would use to find, just probably whatever scraps of. Well, I mean, the man was made a fire earlier.
He used hot rocks.
Oh, he used hot rocks. Got it. Okay. Then yeah, Lulu would use those to make tea then.
Hot rock tea.
Okay.
And he sees everybody off walking to the distance, and having a conversation. And Lulu's just he's just gonna sit there and just exist.
I'm waiting on my message.
I'm typing as fast as I can.
He's clickety clacking.
All right. Lulin, as you're just kind of... Well, Karak, would you go back to the group immediately after that?
I think Karak would probably have to, especially since he knows it's been 2 hours. It's I've been gone for a fair
you don't
bit.
know it's been 2 hours.
Still. Karak needs some constancy, and hey, Sure, it's only Lulin there, but they've only betrayed his trust once.
Lulin, as Karak comes stumbling out of the woods, wearing this armor. It's a very different look for Karak. It's much darker than normal.
Mhm.
Hey, pink and black go great together.
They do.
They
I didn't say it
do.
was a bad color combination. I just said it was different.
Just different.
Hey, looks good on you.
Mhm.
This doesn't make much grammatical sense, but I just tippity typed as the thoughts flew.
Definitely fits better than I
The
thought it would.
fingies were flying.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
If we ever get back to here we get back to my city, there's a couple of armories that could get this mortar to form fitting if you want.
I think that'd be nice.
I'm not so good at it.
I mean, you know, you can't be the best at everything, Lulin.
Lilin laughs and gives a chuckle and like waves his hand in front of his face. No, Newson's family was better at making the weapons and creating the armor and all that nonsense. I'm just good at using them.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, you know, I don't really know where that thought was going. It kind of just vanished.
You, well, I mean, I was at the time I was an officer in our military where I would teach the new recruits how to use a weapon correctly and teach them different battle styles. And Loon's gonna like turn around as there's or like point at like a section of his armor where there's like an array of different weapons. To each one, I have considered mastered by the elders of our town, or by our commanders and lieutenants.
I guess that explains all the during your fight with Brave Apple, all the stars on the back of your robe with the different weapons,
Yes,
and then of course the best of them all.
and then
Oh.
yes, I like to hold my cooking highly.
Hmm. I mean, I'd say you could get anyone to fight their best as long as they have a good meal and a good night's rest, and then of course a good regimen every now and then.
It doesn't matter how bad any of my students were.
Mhm.
Nobody went to bed hungry. Nobody should have to go to bed hungry.
Admirable. I know you and me still need to get up in the morning and do that training you were talking about. We haven't exactly had a morning that's been peaceful enough to actually do that.
I've never trained in a desert like this, so it would absolutely
Mhm.
it would be new to both of us, honestly.
Mhm.
So I think we should just take our relaxation when we can have it.
Mhm.
As you're talking, you see this guy stand up and he walks over. He begins drawing something in the sand that seems to be a large sort of hexagon. As he begins like drawing runes and such in the center of it. You should all get some rest before this evening. Once
Could I roll an Arcana check to see what that symbol might imply?
Sure. It is a It is a seems to be a modified version of a Liaman's tiny hut.
Ah.
It is weaker, but it seems that it doesn't require. It is weaker, so it doesn't protect from everything coming in from the outside. But it seems like it doesn't require the wearer to stay in the hut the whole time.
Oh, nice. That's useful.
Yeah, so maybe something like, oh, what was this? What was this dude's fucking name? Yeah, so maybe, wow, it's kind of funny that he's named L'Oreal. That was unintentional. Still an L name. Works out. L'Oreal's slightly smaller tent.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
As everybody's resting for the evening, Elliot, do you come back to camp once that's done?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to describe that for me? As you all see
yeah.
Elliot coming back into the camp through the kind of palm trees and bushes.
You sort of see Elliot approaching. And you do notice that on his shoulders is sort of Jeffrey sitting as proud as ever. But I think what you would notice more is to the left of him, there is now a probably 7 or 8 foot tall horse with wings walking towards the camp with Elliot. And it's, at first glance, you might think this is just a white horse Pegasus, but you quickly realize that it's sort of an unexpected smoky color, especially as sort of it approaches the hooves. And the wings have just black as coal spots sort of peppered across them as they reach out to the leading feathers. As Elliot and this horse Pegasus sort of stroll back into camp.
Croc just kind of looks over in that direction and is just like, okay, that is majestic. Where did you find that? I didn't know there were horses in the desert, let alone winged ones.
I summoned him.
You watch as L'Oreal looks back over his shoulder, raises an eyebrow, and just goes, "Huh," and just looks forward again back to his fishing rod.
Swear, always a new trick with you, Elliot.
Yeah,
Never a dull moment.
It's usually new. I'd like to introduce you all to Shadow Gleam.
Shadow Gleam.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's lovely to meet you, Shadow Gleam. Just gonna note, Karak has speech of beast and leaf, so if this beast...
This beast also understands common.
Perfect!
It just kind
Shadow
of,
Gleam sort of takes a quick bow.
yeah, huffs, stamps a foot, and then bows its head towards you. Elliot, roll me a D100. Just real quick.
Uh-oh.
I need to know if this horse comes intrinsically with the ability to tap dance. It does not.
Aw.
Thank God.
Do you want to reroll that?
You want to reroll your D100?
I can't believe you don't
This
want your
roll?
horse to tap dance. It's very
I
lucrative.
think I've had enough of tap dancing horses, I think.
It doesn't know how to tap dance, but it definitely does know how to salsa.
Oh, thank
This is a
God.
salsa horse.
Yeah, it's more refined than tap dancing.
News and Lulin, what are your reactions to this? Elliot has just doubled the number of hooves in the party.
I think Nuzin, when L'Oreal turned around, Nuzin also turned around, but she did not turn back. She's just completely flabbergasted by this big giant fucking horse. 7 or 8 feet tall? Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this thing is...
That's like
Holy
the top
cow,
of its mane,
Jesus
but
Christ.
yeah.
I mean, Lulin
I mean, manes
is
don't
only...
stick up though.
Well, yeah.
Lulin's only 5 inches taller than this horse if it's 8 foot. That is a big ass horse.
That is a huge horse. That's like Clydesdale plus.
Yeah, the tallest horse in the world is 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So this is a really big horse.
Mhm.
Thick.
Damn, horses were taller when I was 8 years old.
You need to revise your
Yeah,
horse size.
You were
I stand by it. This is a
smaller
magical
than my
fucker.
kneecaps.
It is a greater steed.
It is a
Mhm.
greater steed.
Jeez.
Yeah, Lulin, you are. It feels
So we've
weird to
got-
be looking something in the eyes.
It does.
We've got Shadow Gleam and Jeffries.
Because the only person Lulin's ever really had to look into the eyes was Brave Apple, and that was already terrifying enough.
Newson, it
So
feels
not
weird
looking
to be
ass.
looking up at a horse.
I know.
All right.
Well, you know, some of us walk off to have a conversation, and some of us come back with the biggest fucking horse I've ever seen in my life.
It's fucking Night Pegasus.
You hear happy horse noises as you say that.
Lulin pulls out a carrot that he was saving up for a stew and gives it to him.
It is gone in 1 month. Wait, how do you hold it out?
Does Lulin know
The
how to
green-
feed a
green-
horse?
You know what? Yeah, I don't think Lulin knows how to.
Roll nature.
Does
I
he,
was gonna
does he
say-
flat palm or does he lose a finger?
We're gonna
Wait,
find
wait,
out.
are
Roll
you-
roll nature. The
Should I
DC will
argue
I guess it
animal
depends on
handling?
how gentle
roll
the
animal
horse is,
handling.
too.
That is, I forget that is a thing.
It's not.
Oh, you're losing a finger, boy.
Roll me a D4.
Oh no.
To be fair, I would like to argue for this Pegasus, which does have an intelligence of 10. So
You
You
Uh,
let
smarter
this
you,
than your
is-
you,
average
you,
commoner.
you just let me do my thing.
This is where he's
Alright.
applying the 62 damage.
For
So
I wasn't
66
going to,
damage.
but that's totally a good idea.
I'm sorry.
Newson or Lulin, this horse like opens its mouth and puts it over your entire hand. And
Jesus.
you feel the carrot like yoinked away into this horse's mouth as it comes out, and 4 of your fingers are just covered in drool that will remain on your fingers for 4 hours, and you cannot seem to get off of your fingers.
That's magical drool, baby.
Man, Pegasus drool is the best adhesive in the world, turns out.
Why?
We gotta have him lick our stamps.
Like our stamps.
Yeah, when we have to do elven bureaucracy.
Gotta send a letter to make sure it's on. We gotta make sure that letter's on the desk by 5 with the correct stamps and postage.
We could cause a lot of chaos with this.
what was that news? That as Lulin like flicks some slobber at you.
It does not leave your fingers. It like sticky hands out and snaps right back.
I'm just.
Fine, then Lulin's chasing you down.
No?
He's gonna flick your forehead.
Oh, you are not gonna catch me, buddy.
Both of you roll athletics.
I would like to point out that my running speed is 40. Or, well, my walking speed is 40, which
Oh
means
yeah,
if I'm
you
running,
are
it's
okay.
you are
80.
faster than
Fine.
him by a large
I'm
margin.
faster. I'm
I
faster
cast
by
the
a
long-
large.
I cast the long strider on myself.
Okay,
Does
you're
that-
no
Oh,
longer
shit.
faster. So
One
roll
sec,
me.
I might be able to help with this. We're gonna make
No,
this
they're
fun.
they're the same speed. Roll me athletics.
Aww.
19.
Oh my god.
I have a +8. Get slobbered.
I'll just wipe it back on you.
All right, the rest of you are watching Lulin for like an hour chase Newson around this pond as Newson is like cutting and juking and diving into the water and coming back out the other side. And they're like running through the trees. And here's my question for Sky and Brando.
Hmm.
For the first time in a very long time, are Newson and Lulin having fun?
Yeah,
I think so.
I,
Yeah.
I think there's genuine smiles and laughter.
So
I think it is very reminiscent of a time before we ever left Allfast.
yeah, so Karak, this would be the first time that you've seen them actually happy for you, and Elliot, this would be the first time in a very long time that you've
This could
seen
be
both of
no,
them
this-
having a
this
good
could probably
time at the
be
first time, at the same
The
time.
first time. Yeah, this could probably
I don't
be
know.
the first time.
You guys had a lot of fun on the bar crawl and Stipvale before everything went to shit.
I was gonna say the hide and seek game at Lyra's parents' mansion.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while. It's
that's
been a couple
probably-
of years, but
Yeah.
he's seen you have
Mhm.
fun before.
Yeah.
Karak is just gonna ping a message over to Elliot and be like, "Are they okay? I've never seen them like this. Are they okay?
Yeah,
Do we need to do something?"
better than.
It's the
They seem
most
happy.
sibling ass shit you've ever seen in your life. Because Newson grew up without siblings, so Lulin is something akin to something between an uncle and a brother. That is how their kind of relationship, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think wiping spit on your younger sister is the most sibling thing you could possibly do.
And I think once Lulin catches you and does it, just like a big old like wad on your forehead,
Blech.
Lulin locks eyes with Karak as there is a feral monster hunting you down.
Oh no!
I got one.
Claimed one of his prey and is coming for
Newson,
another.
here's the question. Do you wipe some of this spit off yourself and also look at one of the other party members?
I don't know how much got wiped
Now-
on me.
At least a finger.
Now that you are on the quote unquote it team.
I've been infected.
Yes, we're playing a game of infected.
Oh no!
But
I
yes,
mean-
you get like a whole finger like across your forehead.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it's time. Newson turns towards Elliot.
Elliot turns towards Karak. Now's the time for you to run. As he gets on the Pegasus, as he gets on Shadow Gleam, as they like launch into the air.
Ah, got
I
it, got
guess-
it. We're surrounded by plants, right?
You are surrounded by plants, but is that in
Oh,
the spirit of the game?
Oh, perfect, perfect.
Elliot got
Are
on a
you
flying
sure?
horse, and Lulin cast Longstrider. It is absolutely
It
the
is
spirit
fair
of the
game.
game.
Are you sure you want to be surrounded by plants with a druid in the party?
That's fair.
See,
Newson's drinking Blue Bison.
damn. Okay.
Elliot, you
shit.
look back over your shoulder to see Newson drinking out of a bottle as wings explode from her back and she turns blue and launches into the air after you.
You think you can fly away from me?
His Pegasus is faster than you.
I'm gonna give it my
no.
best shot.
Lulin would also cast a long strider on Newt.
I don't think that helps you fly.
No, but it gives 10 feet. It gives an additional 10 feet. And it's not concentration.
Okay.
So
That would mean I could move 50 feet.
It would mean you can move 50 feet,
yeah.
which means this is going to come down, in the air at least, it's going to come down to acrobatics checks between the Pegasus and Newson.
I'm just
What are
making
you
sure
talking
we
about?
both have the same walking speed, right?
Unless you're
Well,
just
you have
flying in a
Longstrider,
straight
but-
line. I'm
If you have
assuming you're trying to
Longstrider.
stay inside the grove, Elliot.
I mean, he'll take loops of the grove.
Yeah, which means it comes down to acrobatics. Who can cut and weave better?
Mm.
What
Yeah. I now have a movement of 40.
what level is Longstrider again?
Level, it's a first level. If I was to cast it at a higher level, that just means I can include more creatures. It doesn't increase the speed.
Elliot, you are going to roll at advantage, so don't worry about that.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I'm just reading the flavor text of a spell real quick.
flavor.
Check your character's things. You should see Shadow Gleam.
So, First thing Karok's gonna do is they're gonna cast Dispel Magic on our good friend, the Luland Bold Speaker, because I saw how fast
What's the
we're
range?
going now.
Hey, what's the range on Dispel Magic?
One creature, object, or magical effect. Third level, 120 feet.
That'll work.
And yeah, it's like I'm certain that's. And then
No running for you.
And then Karok is going to use their bonus action to, I believe it's. I'm only using actions because I'm not about to do anything too crazy. I'm going to have Karok use Hidden Step to turn invisible. Let me just.
Alright, Luland, as you're charging forward, hand held out, you feel yourself get slower, and then Karok just disappears. Newson and Elliot, roll me those. Do you want me to roll for the Pegasus? Can you see it? Do you have control of it?
I can see it.
Okay. Roll me those acrobatics checks. Elliot, yours will be an advantage for Shadow Gleam. Elliot is managing to evade capture for now.
Can I use Misty Step to just step right to him?
Give me acrobatics checks flipped. So Newson's, yours is now an advantage.
Okay.
Elliot's, yours is normal as the Pegasus. Actually, you can either do it as the Pegasus or as yourself. As Newson appears wings wide in front of you, finger of slobber held out in front.
Rude.
You got him, Newson. As Elliot,
Well, hold on.
It just took
Oh.
a while.
Elliot also roll acrobatics.
he can. You can also roll acrobatics to
You
see
gotta-
if you
you
can
gotta
like duck
dodge.
out of the way.
Okay,
The man
how petty do I want to
literally,
be?
grabs the loop of the saddle and just wraps around Shadow Gleam as you come by.
Are you gonna silvery barbs him?
I am.
Excusez-moi?
Silvery
Excusez-moi?
bars.
I'm going to take that nat 20 from you.
Excusez-moi?
You do a really impressive spin, but it doesn't seem to work out.
Roll it again.
Roll it again.
Alright, well, hold up. In that case, if we're pulling out all the stops.
Uh-huh.
Alright, this means nothing. Carry on. Oh, actually, it does mean something. Hey,
Yeah?
listen, you got a 7.
Oh, damn!
That's so rude.
You silvery barbs
Did it
them. What do you expect?
Okay,
Take their dice, they're gonna take
but
yours.
hear me out. Newson's 7 + 1 is still equal to your 8, and it meets it beats.
Well,
Yep.
but the Pegasus is a 9.
Oh, that's totally
So-
true.
So
I guess it depends at what point.
No.
So if Elliot's rolling 2 checks, am I rolling 2?
You're
So
rolling
with
2.
silvery
Does
barbs-
silvery barbs trigger a?
Silvery Barbs gives me advantage.
But does it
Does it
trigger
trigger
a
a
wild
wild
magic surge?
Yes, it does. Technically so would Misty Step.
Roll me 2 D1000s.
I was about to
This
say,
is gonna
you
be
choose yourself
so
with silvery barbs.
bad.
If you kill Shadow Gleam, this party is dissolving.
A 14. What's the second one?
288.
Okay, so the very first thing that happens is as you cast Shadow Step, roll me a D8. Or as you cast
Misty
Misty Step,
Step?
roll me a D8.
6.
Okay, so to the southeast of you. Is it really that big? Oh my god. A cloud of smoke just poofs into existence in the air.
Oh, good.
The other one was at 288.
Yeah.
As Newson casts silvery barbs, Elliot, you watch as she turns into a Yorkshire Terrier. Midair.
Is this a Yorkshire Terrier with wings?
I was about to say, Elliot's definitely going in for the catch. if this terrier does not have wings,
It does appear that this terrier does still have wings.
That's good.
Nugent, you still have your own mind as well. And now you can lick him.
Now you have a horse slobbery paw on
Yeah.
the forehead.
No, what it is, Yorkshire Terriers have long fur, so the forehead, fur is, slicked back with
Like
the
a
spit.
greaser.
Like a greaser!
Alright. Elliot, because of that, you do manage to avoid the paw as the Pegasus goes straight down.
News goes in and just turns into a terrier. Am I, stuck like that?
if this is how this is going,
Okay, this is the exact wording. You're transformed into a cute little Yorkshire Terrier for God GM knows how long.
can't wait.
So I can keep
So-
you a dog as long as I want to.
Okay, I just want to say, I think the velocity, because, she's going at, a full Minotaur's speed.
Yes,
So I
you
feel
fly
like
through
she's,
the air.
Yeah, she's reaching out to touch you, misses, turns into a terrier, misses, and goes shooting off.
You turn into the closest thing this game will get to having a Skywawa.
Oh no!
It's blue, it's a small dog, it has wings. I didn't think this would come to this.
I need this art sky of News and Sky Wawa as a greaser. as a Yorkshire Terrier greaser.
Absolutely. Oh, my
Down on the
God.
ground, Karak, you turned invisible. You have 6 seconds while Lulin is, I'm presuming, not slowing down and heading the same direction.
I cast Detect Magic. So I can see him.
Oh, rip Karak, your armor's magic.
Oh yeah, my armor's real magic.
Karak lights up in front of you. Both of you give Lulin athletics, Karak acrobatics.
Got
Nice.
it. Got it.
So I'm just so that means
19.
I can't speak common, right? I have
Correct.
my mind.
Can I
But I
re-roll that?
What? You can if you want to.
Here, I'll spend a re-roll. Yeah, I wanted it to be real bad.
Oh no!
Rob thought he was clever and then lit up like a goddamn firework on 4th of July.
Okay,
Oh my God!
Karak, you are like, oh, thank God he can't see me as Lulin charges forward. By the time you realize you should probably dodge, all you can do is lean back as Lulin, full palm, 4th slobber finger, puts it right on your face.
Lulin dives, rolls, does a blade stance.
As Elliot now remains the only one unslobbered, flying through the air as you hear yapping from behind him, just as you see a blue dog chasing him through the sky. Who is now much
Elliot-
slower than the Pegasus, by the way.
Slower.
Elliot is the last one.
Elliot sees how this is going, flies
How-
towards the pond, as the Pegasus sort of does a barrel roll, and Elliot just dives straight down towards the pond, and
So-
in midair he goes werewolf,
So
Yeah.
while you're on
half-wolf.
your way down,
Alright,
I
change
wanted
yourself.
to ask, could I cast a spell while you're doing this?
You can dispel the Pegasus, but you can't dispel the wolf.
Oh, I wasn't going to dispel the Pegasus. I was actually going to try and throw them off their rhythm by using my spell Earthbind. Choose one creature you see within range. Yellow strips of energy loop around the creature. Target must succeed a strength saving throw, or its flying speed, if any, is reduced to 0 for the spell's duration. An airborne creature affected by this spell safely descends 60 feet per round until it reaches the ground.
And you're using this on Elliot as he, falls off of the Pegasus, or are you using it on the Pegasus?
I'm trying to do it, before they jump off the Pegasus.
Okay, so you
try
can
to-
only target one of them.
I can do. I think it would make sense to do the Pegasus because it does specifically say airborne, and I'm assuming that means they have to be flying. And technically, the Pegasus is flying, not Elliot.
Technically, they just have to be airborne by the wording of the spell.
Then
Yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, then it's Elliot.
Elliot, give me a strength save.
I'm going to combo spell with this, and I'm going to also cast command on Elliot to halt. To grovel.
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll higher than an 18 on your strength.
And you're gonna have to roll me a wisdom saving throw. Roll me the wisdom saving throw first, because if you fail the wisdom saving throw, you'll auto fail the strength save.
Yeah.
Handedly. It was a DC 14.
What is the look you give Lulin as he tries to cast command on you?
Ellie's just, what the...
When did it get this serious?
It went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Real fast. DC 18, not a damn chance.
It's a strength save,
Also-
too.
He's not trying to save. He's diving towards the ground.
Yes, but this
right
will catch you and cause you to slowly descend, giving the Nuzin Wawa a chance to catch you.
Oh my god!
Elliot, you dive towards the water, and as you're about 10 feet off, these bands of energy just wrap around you, and you suddenly find yourself slowly descending. As you look up, and you see just ambition in its eyes, a tiny blue Yorkshire Terrier paw outstretched flying straight at you.
Karak's just pinging
the
a message.
spit is on her forehead, so what happens is she just collides with your
just a
face and
missile.
just like rubs her face against your face.
Right. Karak
Elliot
just like
is
pings
definitely
him.
going for like the,
The
dog.
grab.
He's going for the grab, the dog grab.
Yeah.
He's going for the neck, trying
This
to just
dog-
like throw the small child.
Scruff the Yorkie.
Karak is just
Rough
gonna
the
ping a
Yorkie.
message to Elliot that just says, "Gotcha."
Nuzin, let me get you the stats for a Yorkie.
I can't wait for you to roll as your.
How high above the
No.
ground are you?
Oh my god. I don't know how high off the ground we are.
Because
We're about 10 foot.
Oh, okay, 10
Oh.
feet. Okay.
thanks for being the distraction, Nuzin.
He's in the middle of the lake, Lulin. You'd have to jump pretty far.
Okay.
Hang on. I'm looking for Yorkie stats.
Small dog. Just use cat stats, honestly.
No.
I think cats have better stats than dogs. So,
Okay,
It's just a
dog,
dog.
small, speed, 40 feet.
shit. A small dog is as fast as a
Okay,
I mean-
level 11 barbarian.
I think the idea is that they run really, really fast. They're small, but they're quick. They're
Elliot.
nimble.
So that means that the Yorkie could have kept up because it still has long strider.
So that's
Well,
50
okay,
feet.
the Pegasus's airspeed is like
60.
80.
It's 60.
60.
Oh, damn.
Okay,
No, its flying speed is 90. Its ground speed is 60.
Elliot,
shit.
make me an acrobatics
That's
check.
crazy.
Sky,
Wait, what am I doing with
you're
this
making an
acrobatics
to
check?
try and scruff the Yorkie and throw it away before it can get the slobber on you.
You're
Sky,
getting rubbed
make me
face
an
on your
athletics
face.
check with a -1 as your modifier. You have a 9 in
that's-
strength.
Wait, can I make an argument that this? Never mind. I guess it would.
It's shenanigans. You're more than welcome to make an argument.
Well, I was gonna say have it be attack roll.
You could.
Against you.
I'm fine with an attack roll
-1.
against the Yorkie's AC.
Because
I'm
I
gonna
think
up.
Wolf has
I'm gonna
+2.
up. Yeah, and the Yorkie is okay. So the Yorkie, I'm gonna say because of the flight speed,
Mhm.
has an AC of 14. Now,
Whoa, 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 whoa! AC of 14.
Because it's small. You have to grab
hard
it
to
out of
hit.
midair.
It's small and dexterous.
also normal
This
dogs.
is
Have,
nonsense.
I mean, you want me to
We're
see?
going back to the athletics.
Fair enough. All right, athletics versus acrobatics. Or no, you're giving me. Yeah, athletics is
So
fine.
I'm doing a D20 -1.
Correct.
Okay. D20.
Is there an acrobatics? I see no acrobatics on this sheet.
Oh, yeah, the wolf might not have an acrobatics. Newson, you get
Okay.
scruffed and tossed.
Can Lulin make an athletics to try and grab the Elliot
This
in
is
the air by jumping across the pond?
I don't.
This is
For
Elliot's
the record,
revenge.
Elliot is throwing this dog right to Lulin.
This pond is like 150 feet wide,
Ass over tea kettle.
so you're probably not going to be able to jump to the center. But you can catch the small dog that is flying at you as Elliot
Okay,
descends.
can I throw the dog back?
Roll athletics.
Lulin's gonna catch.
Give me two. One to catch and one
Yeah.
to throw.
To catch is a 24. Lulin catches you like a perfect linebacker, gives you pets, and like throws you like a fucking rugby player for a 21.
Like a missile.
Okay.
Okay. Is Elliot underwater yet? Because 60 feet per turn is a lot.
You would have been released at the top of the water, so you are underwater now.
Karak is running towards the water. He's gonna dive right in after him.
And because Lulin's still wearing his fish suit, Lulin also goes in the water, which he does not have to breathe. It has a swim speed
Newson,
of 40.
are you trying to redirect towards the water?
Yeah, I mean, I've got the wings, so I can just
Okay.
open them up to stop my
He
trajectory
will-
and fall in.
I was gonna say, because if you didn't open up your wings to stop, you were gonna skip across the top of the water like a stone.
It's almost
Actually, no, I
better.
can't jump in the water yet because I just threw Newsom. So
But Karak can, and Karak has a swim
Yeah.
speed.
yes,
I got a
my
swim
God.
speed.
Oh,
I just need to
I'm
know what that
dying.
swim speed is because
You have a swim
depending-
speed of 30.
Got it.
And as you hit the water, you feel the water run through the rivulets on the armor and almost seem to make like a jetway behind you as you burst through the water.
I'm going straight towards Elliot.
Elliot, underwater, you look up and you see a Karak missile that knows where it is because it knows where it isn't as it
Isn't.
travels directly towards you.
I see.
You're getting out actioned economy, bud.
Oh, I saw that coming.
fireball.
I think Elliot just makes eye contact with Karak and smiles his big, toothy smile.
Dog smile.
Dog smile.
Are you rolling in? Are you gonna like try and roll intimidation?
Well, I mean, if
that what
Karak
you're doing?
Try and
chooses to be
beat him.
intimidated, he can.
Remember, Karak, this
You know,
this
I wanna
slobber
see where
is
this
This is
goes.
ending
I
in
wanna-
30 seconds.
I want
by
to
the
see what
way.
happened.
this slobber is all over your face as well.
Yeah. So do I roll a charisma save to not get intimidated?
Sure, roll me a
or-
charisma save against Elliot's intimidation roll.
Would you say I'm keeping up with them after throwing Newsom?
Elliot's
No, I'm thinking
intimidation
you
roll?
stopped to pitcher throw Newson. Karak, you are
Okay.
unfazed. You've seen this kill a man. You know this isn't as dangerous as you let on.
Karak is unfazed and is just zooming towards them.
Elliot, as Newson, or as you,
Doggy paddling down.
as you look around, you realize you are surrounded on all sides. As you see a splash as Lulin jumps in the water, as Karak
Cannonballs.
flies towards you Superman style, and as you look up and see a tiny blue Yorkie paddling its life out towards you from above, you realize you have been trapped. Do you submit to your fate?
Press X to submit to your.
Or are you using more spells to get out of this?
I think Elliot is going to sort of accept his fate, knowing that he will get slobbered. Is still going to dog wrestle Karak.
Both of you roll me athletics as Karak reaches him.
Dog
There.
wrestle.
There we are, athletic.
He just got that dog. He got that dog in him.
I know I can't outbeat him, but I can at least slobber him.
He grabs you, Karak, as you get close. He, like, sees the slobber as the water runs past it on your head, and as you get close, he just puts a hand around your throat and puts you in a bear hug so you can't get your face near him. As the two of you just thrash in the water as Sky swims down from above. Here's the real race now, and I think Sky's gonna win it, is who else gets to Elliot first as they sink to the bottom. Actually, Sky, give me a con saving throw with a +1.
Okay. Do I get my regular con,
Nope.
or is it just a plus? It's just a +1.
Just a
okay.
+1.
20 +1. 17!
You're holding your breath.
Just tiny little legs.
I'm gonna say
going
you have a
wild.
swim speed of 10.
I find this acceptable.
Yeah, that,
Which means
underwater.
Lulin, you get there first, as Elliot, you just see... Well, Lulin, how do you approach slobbering Elliot as Elliot is busy wrestling Karak?
What other fun things do I have?
Well, you get there. You can just slobber him. I'm just asking how you do it. Like, do you rise up in front of Karak like a menacing angel and just hold your hand out? Or do you, like, go by and just rub it in his face? Or do you wet willy him? Because he has big old wolf ears.
God.
I'm going to... I rolled an 18 stealth to sneak up behind you.
Roll perception at disadvantage, Elliot.
Can I
Let's
roll
be honest,
perception
that's
as well?
gonna beat it no matter what. But
Can I roll perception to see if I see Lulin?
No, because he's
Nineteens.
behind him and you can't turn because Elliot's holding you.
hold the phone.
19s.
With a 19, with the 28 perception, can Elliot maneuver Karak to the?
Take the hit.
You can. As Lulin, you reach down with your hand, suddenly Karak's in front of you as Karak, you just get a big line of slobber across the face again.
It's down to...
Elliot's fight for survival continues as the Skywawa makes it another 10 feet down.
Am I still being grappled by Elliot?
You are
at this
still
point?
being grappled by Elliot. He's using you as a human shield as Lulin tries to
Okay.
reach in.
Can I give
I-
myself an extra 5 feet by
Where-
Flapping your
Where-
wings. Yeah, you
Where
can.
where is the Skywawa at this point? The
I'm
news, the
coming from
newsy.
above.
It's like,
The
this is a
news Yorkie,
30
the
feet deep.
newsy.
It's like 5 feet above you.
5 feet above. Okay.
You could theoretically, since you don't actually need to move your arms for your swim speed, and he's grabbed onto you so tight, launch you and him straight up into the Skywalla.
See, here's the thing. I was thinking of that, but I also want to use some other abilities. So I was thinking, would it be possible to, like, shimmy in such a way where I can use, I think it's called, Call of the Depth. Twice per long rest, the wearer can summon a surge of water to knock back enemies within a
That's
15-foot
interesting.
radius.
If you had access to that ability right now, you absolutely could.
True. I'll do the fun swim thing.
But
then.
you're not fully attuned to the armor.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm only halfway attuned.
As you, Elliot, you look up and have a moment of realization that it's over as you see the derpy face of a Yorkie as it slams into your own, and the speed of you going through the water also gives you a slick back. As Nugent runs
like
down
it.
the top of your head.
Elliot always has a slick back.
It's true, especially in wolf form.
Yeah. But you still get slobbered by the Yorkie.
And as you all get out of the water and rest and laugh and joke with each other, that's where we're going to end our session.
On probably the happiest notes of the entire campaign.
No kidding.
All right.
And then
Like
they
playing
died.
slobber tag.
Everybody, thank you for joining us.
They died.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having a good time. Thank you to Sky for the raid and Brando for the bits for the rerolls that you used.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Blue Haired Menace for following as well. Thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you to all of our wonderful players. We have Lulin Boldspeaker, the Minotaur Druidin, played by.
It's me, Brambo. I guess player of Slobber Tag.
So true.
I think the entire session is just one of my favorites, as we went from really depressing and hard conversations to probably having the most fun we've had in years.
And then we have Elliot Burning Oak, the Werewolf Blizzard, played by.
It's me, Isaac, and I'm still thinking about the bag of cereal. And I think my favorite part of today's session was Elliot's surprisingly good evasion rolls.
I know! Kind of popped off.
And then we have Newsen World Walker, the Yorkie Sorbarian, played by. You stopped talking.
It's me, the Sky Tea. I think, God. You know, I liked having my kind of heavy conversation, but of course, you know.
The Skywawa manifestation was too good.
The Skywawa manifestation is hilarious. I made some mushroom cloud of smoke and then became a dog.
And I
Now,
feel like
three
keeping you
of the
this
four
way.
of us could be dogs.
And I get to keep you this way as long as I want to.
I know.
Which is
I feel like
beautiful.
you should right now roll a hidden D100.
For the number of sessions that she stays a Skywawa, I agree.
Oh my
I was going to say
God.
days, because usually a session is like 1/10 of a day.
Yeah,
Oh damn! Even wow.
I might be a
Brock, you've been here
Skywawa
like
for a
4
long
days.
time.
All your visions
Oh, I
changed.
heard it
So all your visions changed to you being a Skywawa in them.
Yeah, I no longer am a Minotaur.
God, there's some visions where that
All
it
right.
gets even worse.
I know how
There it
many.
comes back
I
to
know
this,
how
like-
many sessions this is going to persist for.
Ooh.
no. Obviously, it's 62. That's what the 62 from the beginning's for.
Nah, I rolled a d20 to see how many sessions I'm going to keep you as a Skywawa.
Oh boy.
Could let you navigate the city easier, to be fair.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
fair. I would just be a little dog.
I like the
could
idea
get
that Elliot
adopted
comes
by
back
the
to the
family we
city.
need to infiltrate and then steal the lantern. Do elves adopt
This is-
dogs?
This is the funniest way to get around not having a rogue.
You could give me away as a gift. I could be a pedigreed animal.
And
Way.
last but not least, we have Karakareem, the Furbolg Warlock, played by.
Hello, my name is Term. I'm not gonna lie, I really liked that end bit with the tag. The fact that this is the first time Karak has seen everyone truly have fun is probably the biggest relief that he has felt in the past week.
And that's it. That's where we'll end our session. Thank you, everybody,
Thank
for
God
joining us.
Karak has speech of beast and leaf.
Thank God.
Just so everybody knows, this is likely going to be the only stream this week. Because I have both papers
Busy.
due and prep to do for the next 4-week campaign.
Mhm.
Let's go.
That's what my Tuesdays are turning into until the next one starts.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
But I'm gonna send y'all over to Glitched Rune playing the Thaumaturge. I've never heard of said game before.
Me
So
neither.
I guess we'll all see together what it is. But until next time, everyone, don't do anything I wouldn't do. The bar is low. Not as low as it was at the end of Eureka last week, but the bar is low. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful
Another
rest of your
session